back to Metropolitan Grid. My name is Andre. Thanks so much for tuning in. It's a Thursday night, April 23rd. I trust you're doing well. I can't believe it's been a week since the last time we streamed. It feels like it's been forever. A lot of stuff has been going on. Mind you, we put out a video Friday, streamed Saturday, Monday, Jeff's side of the video went up. We're back today. Mind you, our end of the tier list video, the corp side, which is quite a long endeavor, will be out Monday, just to give Jeff a week. Shout out to the collaboration feature on YouTube. That's new. How's everyone doing? Hopefully you're well. It is also a very exciting week because this weekend, Saturday, if you're here in Montreal, if you want to come in, we're running our Montreal District Championship 2026 at the Silver Goblin. We'd love to have you. It's in the old ban list, but I don't think it doesn't mean that's not going to be an exciting event. How's everyone doing? Let me catch up on chat. Even, hey, Clueless Bull, how's it going? Lucy, I was getting worried I might fall asleep and be like, good morning, Lucy. Fortunately, I'm awake and on time. Welcome to the stream. Hey, Brennan. Missing locals tonight, but we just had districts, so that's okay. Yeah, that was the one that William won, right? How was it? It was a Nuveng deck and then a Lu deck. The Nuveng deck is actually pretty interesting. It is a sort of deck that I know I've seen like teammates testing, and it's a really good deck specifically into Seb because it brings ice back pretty consistently, but I have no doubt William played some good old mid-range Wayland, which is something he does quite well. Hey, sorry, in grid time. Simply no clue what this title means. There's a lot of discussion about this title. I think there's some people in chat that might be able to figure it out. It is a literary reference, but I'm not going to talk about it until it comes up. It has nothing to do with the Lexus of the week, which we will get to in a second. This isn't Velma's Diner. Lost my thumbs. How's it going? We've also been streaming. We started a YouTube channel last week called Velma's Diner, which has been a long time coming on this channel. I'll shout it out really quickly because it came up in chat. But we've been just streaming some Arkham Horror, and we've done a stream on Saturday where I streamed for a bit, and then we lost power during the stream. We were like 3 turns into our first game of the first stream of the channel, and power went out. Which is like not great at all. So we returned on Wednesday and it was great. So it's good. If you want to subscribe, Velma's Diner, you can find it there. But if it's all just like Arkham Horror, which is something I've been playing for a long time. Title is Arthur Miller. Shit, I actually don't know. I'm not able to call a roll on that one. We're doing Palace Cafe deck. Hey Tom, how's it going? How's your Friday? Maybe some kind of reference to illicit smuggling. Hackerspace, hey Zook. Cool. Just realized this week, Decklist of the week is a giant pile of 3-ofs. It is a giant pile of 3-ofs. And I love the master of pile of 3-ofs in the comments being excited about it. Shout out to Diogen down here. Yeah, 3x of everything. Now we're cooking. It is like such a Diogen thing to put 3 of in everything in his decks. That's just kind of how he builds decks, and I make fun of him a bit. But yeah, this is just a pile of 3-ofs, that's for sure. We'll see if that's a thing that we need to be doing. It's great. I won a sticker and a sense of self-worth, a sense of community. You got to play some games and have some fun. Final UK districts this weekend, then bring on megas. I'm enjoying events so much this year. Where's the final one this weekend? Lucy, are you going? Just book flights from Montreal for Worlds 26-hour journey, but very excited to go. Zook, that means you're coming in from, like, it has to be APAC, right? 26 hours. Dang, that's awesome. Mind you, the tickets are on sale. They've been selling out good for Worlds from last I've heard, but you can grab your Worlds ticket. Early bird tickets are available until the end of June, so you still have some time. But if you want to come see the most beautiful city in North America, it is coming up for sure. It's Bristol. I got to be there to announce our mega. I also wanted to be there, but I have obligations as the organized person. Like, you're organizing, right? From Australia, fantastic. It's far travels, that's for sure. Hopefully you're spending some time in Canada, let alone in Quebec. Then you're not just coming in and dipping out. I know that sort of travel is absolutely buck wild, and I'm hoping, what is it, in 2 years when APAC Worlds happens, to make that travel the other way. Never been to any part of APAC, really excited. There's an ID in Arkham called Andre. Almost a cool name. Yeah, almost a cool name, Aurora. How you doing? It's like, it's a way to do it, I guess. It's not my favorite, but you can do it like that. Feeling very anti-corporate today. Our university exec have started live streaming part of their monthly meetings, but they just talk about ceremonial stuff and don't let us use the chat box. How can they prevent you from using the chat box? There just isn't a chat box? Because if you can't use the chat box, what's the point? Just like emoji spam, impish. Get your subs in there. Use your Prime. They'll like it when you use their Prime. They have to shout you out. Do like a super like. They have to shout your name out. It's courtesy. 3 weeks is the plan. Okay, you're doing it right. That's really good. I know for most of the folks I've talked to who've gone to Worlds or traveled from Worlds from like Australia or New Zealand, yeah, they're usually there for about 3 weeks, which is, I think, what you want to do just to make the ratio of travel time to vacation time make some amount of sense. So hopefully you're enjoying it. I'm not sure exactly what parts you're traveling to, but there's a lot to see, let alone, I guess you could dip into the States if you wanted to. But yeah, like, I don't know. What do people come to Canada for? Like, I think people want to go to the Niagara Falls. It's like an 8-hour drive is my guess. It's nice. It's cool. It's a weird place. Waterfall's nice. Most beautiful city offended but not disagreeing in Victoria. I've never been to BC, so I couldn't tell you. I had a friend who moved out to Vancouver for a bit. She moved out there and then she moved back. And her reason for not liking it was too many trees. I mean, I can't think of a nicer endorsement for the city, I'll be honest. But that was Vancouver. Victoria, I've heard there's no trees. I'm on the fence if I want to go to Worlds. I've been up to Montreal before and loved it while I was there, but at the moment, I don't think I'm getting enough chance to play. Clueless Bull, what I can tell you is like, whether or not you're getting enough chance to play, I think it's worth considering. Like, I'm not gonna talk about the financial aspect of it. Obviously, that's like, you know, that's for you to answer. But like, Netrunner World Championship, about playing Netrunner is one thing, but it's kind of more just like Netrunner Con. It's a place to go to meet a bunch of people who've done the same sort of thing, where you travel, you come in, you like this game, you're gonna be surrounded by like your people, which is quite nice. So even if you've been like out of the game, even if you're like not a competitive player, there's so many reasons to try it. It's like the big event that year where people come in from all over the world to celebrate this game. So I always found it to be super infectious. Everyone's always just phenomenal. You make friends, you go out. It's hard not to be stoked about it, even if you don't play any games, let me tell you. So yeah, you know, do with that as you will, but that's my take on it. It's on Zoom and chat is disabled, so all of us staff watching can't talk about how much bullshit they're spewing. Okay, make a second stream impish and you restream it, but then you do it with your own commentary. I think that one actually will probably get more viewership because it's more like an authentic experience. And that's what people want on social media or whatever. I ended up doing a lot of coordination for the districts and megas this year. Someone has to do it. I mean, it's a lot of work, Lucy. I'm assuming people are pretty thankful. That's awesome. I made a few changes to NotAgain's deck list for districts and it felt so good. Oh, you played this already? How did I take it? It went well, huh? What sort of changes did you make? We'll talk about this in a second once I keep up on chat. But yeah, it is definitely just acid spam and some damage for it. Again, it's wild that's in Méliès U. I do think it's interesting to see Méliès U is like performing to be just like a generically good identity. The idea that you can just recur assets is horrendous. I think I crashed out a bit on last week's stream where it was just like recurring snares and like measured response. I don't think this idea is incredibly healthy. And it is definitely something else. It feels like a deck that just could go into AUCO. I'm not 100% sure if the write-up declares why it can't or why it shouldn't. I do think people are going to miss mulligan into this pretty aggressively because they think it's like, you know, Glacier, and then it turns out you're spamming like a hostile and a front company on turn one. It's also like very much a playstyle of NotAgain. NotAgain likes building these like horizontal, like front company is a very much NotAgain card. So I don't know whether you're meant to just like always hedge against there's a front company in the deck. I'm not 100% sure. Niagara Falls is worth more for the ice wine than anything. Yeah, Quebec has its own ice wine culture. We even have a name for it. Sortilège, I think is like the French term for it. I've never enjoyed sweet wine. Australian Victoria is better than Canadian Victoria. I mean, Brennan is saying it. Oh no, Aurora is saying this. Sorry. Okay, Brennan, you have to agree. Very much undecided if I'm doing Worlds this year. Probably going to depend on how stable my finances are in a month or two. Lucy, I'm hoping for the best. It'd be great for you to make it in. Obviously, there's like, you know, financial support stuff with like things like Run Together. Any amount of help obviously is like help people are incredibly excited to offer, but hopefully it works out. Whatever makes sense, huh? I got food poisoning at Niagara Falls. Okay. Let's just not go then. I'm going to try to make it at Worlds, but I'm a war with money. I think I can do it. Hey, Joel, for the third time this week. How you doing? Welcome back. I have never been really excited to finally attend. Yeah, you're right, Dan. I've seen you at a whole bunch of events and never Worlds. That'd be really sick. Hey, Daria, how's it going? Popcorn emoji. Welcome. Daria, 3 ofs all the time, huh? Congrats on this event. This was NH districts. This was the Sunday districts, the neon static districts. I'm excited to see because I think there is a megacity coming up, or maybe there's another district this weekend. I forget what I heard on Neon Static recently, but I think there's an event coming up. I think it's a megacity. I posted my change list called Monopoly Méliès City Edition on Netrunner. Okay, cool. Recursion's Anders' favorite band museum. John, it's been a while. I've heard you might have been a bit under the weather. Hopefully you're doing okay. Hey, it's been a minute. Trust you're well. Hey, Solomir, Méliès is pretty good. I mean, I've heard good things. I don't know. I don't know what Recursion's meant to be. Let's do popular and see what it is. Cambridge Megacity? Yeah, Cambridge, Massachusetts, right? That's the one. All right, reverse changes. Not that we looked at the first list too hard. Everything's still a 3x. We're just on different 3x's. That kind of goes with it. So I think we've taken out the, oh, I saw this. Yeah, we took out the Lacostas and played the Petty Caches, right? Yeah, and then took out the Teenies and played the Knowledge Seekers. A Teenie does damage. It has the same functional stats. It's cheaper to res the Knowledge Seeker, but the Knowledge Seeker ends the run and has text. A Teenie is just mean. I do think NotAgain will play mean more than an end the run, so that kind of lines up. But yeah, maybe we need more money. I'm not sure. The Lacostas don't have obvious value with this deck because like we only have a couple 4/2s. It's really nice to slow roll it. Like this card is just a good piece of text. Like pay 3 credits just to get a free advancement. We have Charlottes, which are really important. You didn't cut the Charlottes, right? So you actually have to advance the Charlottes. That seems relatively expensive in terms of what you want to do on your turn. It's been a time, but looking forward to Saturday. Yeah, heck yeah. Excited to see you on Saturday. I'm glad you're coming. Cambridge Megacity is in June or July? Okay. I don't know what I listened to. Literally had tickets on the flight for SF Worlds, but had to cancel. Devastating. This year's the year. Hey, hope we can work out. It's the closest it's ever been. Yeah, this is closer than Toronto, I reckoned. My first paragraph should explain in the shortest way possible for why I'm Méliès over AUCO. Okay, I guess we'll read that. First paragraph. Ever since I read it, Méliès always felt like an asset ID to me. I did not understand why people seem to be hyperfixated on Glacier Méliès. Sure, it's a better RH, but you are effectively locking out the better part of your ID by icing up. It did not feel like the potential it has was met. I strongly felt the deck can mimic Retirement Plan AUCO without spending influence on a mediocre card while playing significantly better ice and proper econ instead of crying about Bladderword money. I see we're doing diplomatic writing here. My initial builds kept failing and just wasn't clicking. A week ago, I really stopped enjoying the meta. It's fine. Okay, so the way that I see it is with Méliès, like if you don't ice centrals, your Méliès, like, okay, as soon as you ice a central, your Méliès ability, you can kind of force it, right? Because the way that I see it is against Glacier, it's much harder to spend, X credits to make one of these bad incidental runs to turn off the Méliès ability safely. Once you like have control over, those options, that's a really, really big deal. Like you have control over the incentives of what to run. Now, I've seen people play like full traps and they're just like full randoming, picking what server they can run on. And those decks, you usually have you don't need the sort of click compression where you can't just like run the wrong server as much as you're guessing half the time. So like that's interesting to me. Bringing back an asset is annoying and important. Like trashing a FUT and then FUT coming back is like just emotionally devastating, that's for sure. And I do think we will be icing centrals to some extent. It's like the ice is good, like in the TD on HQ or Linesman on HQ. Like you're not running HQ for fun anymore. So I don't know. I'm excited to see what this is. AUCO just getting more cards on the table seems really quite nice. I also do think people are just going to miss mulligan against you pretty aggressively until open deck list or whatever. Méliès is honestly such a mess to run against as a crim. Giving them back a single Hunter can basically ruin you. Yeah. Shout out to the tier list on Monday. That's like my really big point. It's one of my favorite things against playing against Méliès, and I mean Méliès Glacier when I'm talking about this, is that against like RH Glacier, against any sort of mid-range Glacier deck, my favorite thing as a criminal is poking centrals. Is forcing them to res ice, to be destabilized, to like put economic pressure. And as soon as you make one bad run and they get back a Hansei review or a hedge fund or any sort of economic piece, like all of your pressure is thrown into the toilet. It's just so bad. Like it just feels like it's not worth it. If you can't hard call the 50-50 when they ice HQ and have R&D or archives open, it's like not worth it. Like I just don't want to interact anymore. And it's interesting because like if you give them a hedge fund back, you did flip them, so they lose the clickless credit. So their hedge fund now just becomes akin to click for 3. But that's still really bad when your goal is for the first couple turns to financially destabilize them. Like I don't know what to do about it. It's so strange. It's like I cannot feel like I can pressure this down. It might be skill issue where like I just have to make sure I call the right thing. And in theory, you can make this a blank ID if you always do it right. But I don't think that's realistic or likely. And again, if it fires once and gets back a Hansei or an Anoetic Void you trashed, it feels like you lose on the spot. It's emotionally very, very difficult for me. Especially also if you play decks that can't like run really cheaply, where it's the not wanting to interact is exactly why I cut Getaway to my Baz list right now. Yeah, I get it. Like I totally get it. The thing is like with Baz, you want to interact anyways, and Baz is a bit better at interacting because you're pressuring even iced servers. But yeah, I just like don't want to touch cards. Like it's pushing me into like play daily cast territory. It's like I also would consider like I had Carpe Diems in my criminal deck. I'm like, cut these for daily cast. What are you doing, buddy? Now, some of that is also like the amount of agendas and centrals has just gone lower. So like single accesses feel less good in the meta. And Méliès is really punishing you for making those cheeky value single accesses, like DreamNet is as well. And it is like a really good response to people like playing, DreamNet Criminal for the first, couple of weeks, as much as that's kind of died down. I don't know. I really don't think the game should be encouraging you daily cast over clean getaway. That's for sure. Hey BMK, I'm having a good day. How you been? Rarely did the Lacostas and Charlotte line up when you really needed the money. I mean, I'm assuming they do. That's like kind of the standard for Méliès decks, especially mid-range Glacier. Like you need them to line up. We'll check out if it does or doesn't, but Petty Cash is good. It's not bad in Méliès. It's definitely not as good as it is in AUCO. Like you never want to bring this back. You're happy trashing it off the top of the deck, but I don't know if that's actually a point where we want to use it. It's really nice with Hansei though, because you're happy discarding it, but like I don't think I click for 2 with this card. I think I just clicklessly click for 2. So we'll see how often we discard something. Jai, you done school yet? Is your season wrapped up? I think I'm at the point where I'm only losing to Méliès if I run through Cloud Eater into Ganked. Just ignore Centrals and let them drip their Piranha money. That's what I'm coming to, yeah. But then I'm like, I don't feel like I'm playing Netrunner. I really don't. I feel like I'm playing, you know, the Solitaire, and I don't like it. I want to be touching cards. That's my entire deck. I don't know what fake news is being peddled across the pond by Cambridge and Megacities in May. I'm talking about Cambridge, Massachusetts. I don't know which one, Lucy, you're talking about. I prefer Teeny. Proco works better with the Teeny over Knowledge Seeker. Yeah, that makes sense. Like this on Centrals, you can't just bounce off of it. You can bounce off Knowledge Seeker. Sometimes it's actually like beneficial to bounce off Knowledge Seeker. That's an interesting way of talking about it. Okay, I have no idea when the event. My semester is done free, man, until July-ish. You got plans, or you just like hanging out? You're talking about real Cambridge. Oh, okay. I'm not offended by that. Hopefully it's good, Jay. Butt full of diamonds. I call that glassed ass. Phil, that's beautiful. I don't feel like you wrote that, but it's good. A lot of these Méliès decks make Vic pretty unplayable on its own, IMO, which is a bit sad. Yep. But like Vic is genuinely not great. Like I don't think Vic is really good. The question is whether DreamNet is good. I think we're asking the same question, but yeah, let's play this. So I don't know exactly what we're prioritizing here. So hostile architecture, when this stays, anything that gets trash that's installed does 2 meat damage. That's a problem. We have a lot of cards if the runner doesn't address, they become problems, right? So then if we get a front company on the table and you don't want to ice this is my guess, they have to run a central server. They don't have to make a successful run. So you can always like run archives and jack out. However, if this is uniced, archives running is untenable. So then you kind of make Méliès a 50-50. Like this is a really good interaction point. So they have to like hit the first ice if he is res. And all our ice has bad face checks besides the Tattoo Bola. I'm assuming Tattoo Bola is for the remote to keep our stuff safe. Our stuff is Charlotte and La Costa. That's great. Obviously FUD is really important. And then Cohort. This deck doesn't have that much like offensive damage, like proactive damage. Scoring out of Fuji would work, but we have Regenesis and we'd want to set that up. Méliès U is also just really good at Regenesis, as much as they'd have to run a different central and run archives. It's hard to make that work, but I do know the Méliès decks are actually taking risks on certain turns where they will put a Regenesis agenda in archives, call archives, and say that you won't run another central first. And maybe you can with like Boomerang or some sort of surprise, but the face checks are quite hard. And I think that's the one thing I've been appreciating way more about Méliès than like LEO Glacier. While LEO Glacier has a better late game, technically based off of its cards itself or the text on its ID as opposed to its upgrades. The big thing with Méliès Glacier, sorry, with LEO Glacier, excuse me, is you can face check into everything largely. This deck, you can't face check into things. Like the face checks are pretty bad and you're actually taking a lot of risks when interacting with ice. And by risks, it means damage. We're luckily at the point where criminals are playing 2 of each breaker. I don't know if you have to do more than that. But yeah, you are just losing cards. You are losing tempo and that can be quite important. So yeah, it's way harder. Like a deck that runs Lions, Mains, and Natinis is harder to face check into than like a brand. That should be obvious, but it's like very, very noticeable. It is the strength of mid-range Glacier, but also the face checks that are a nightmare. It's really wild. It kind of feels like it has its cake and eats it too, which like LEO Glacier, I'm so excited as a criminal to face check into stuff. Like worst case drafter, that's the only worst case. MIC is like kind of bad, but they paid 6 for it. And that's all it did. Took your turn away. That's okay. I don't endorse running last click all the time. What do you think about the Lotus Haze jungle deck? Diogen, I think we're going to be playing it later today. What do I think about it? I think Ganked should be thrown into a volcano. A long time ago. I don't think that it's a very healthy card for anybody, but if somebody can figure out how that's related to the title today, then we come full circle and we've done it. Are you coming out this weekend, Diogen? Me when slotting Airblades into Baz and refusing to res Ion Ice Centrals, blundering and bite Fuji? Yeah, just pre-install it, right? I get like not resing to Baz makes sense, especially when you are on Bite Fuji. Saw the off-off ban and figured it was a great time to try at Zwicky. For what it's worth, I don't think I've ever played off-off in Zwicky, but like, you're right, you do lose that interaction point there. But I don't think I've ever played off-off in Zwicky. I think they should bring back Ansel Ganked. Sanjay, how's it going? Yeah. I think they should. I think they should for a bit. They should just say like Ansel is allowed. Ansel 2.0 probably allowed. Drafter definitely allowed because it's kind of fun. Any other one not allowed though. It was cool. Hey Antoine, I got here right to time to join in on the Ganked poke that card. I mean, yeah, it's definitely a healthy card. I don't know. It's the mixture of like Subroutine's fire text, which is like my least favorite in the whole game, and a trap that costs nothing to fire, which is something that Null Single Games has been consistently doing and is very, very strange. 3 trash costs, nothing to fire a trap. I don't know how I meant to interact with it. The issues that Cloud Eater should have been NBN. I kind of agree with you. I do kind of agree with you. I think I do not like Jinteki tags at all. It feels like it doesn't fit. It feels like the punishment is so weird and strange, and it just doesn't feel right. It feels like it is doing some stuff successfully, and that's the stuff that NBN is not doing successfully, so it's really strange. Because cool snake card. I never liked Jinteki tags, and I don't think I'll ever like it. I do not understand why Tank Techie is a concept. Yeah, I'm not into it too much either. I got called out so hard at Continentals for my slots. I can smell the bites on you, and you seem like the ganked sort of. These are from friends, though. That's like, that's a comment from a friend. That's not your actual smell, I don't think. I just want to live the dream of using Lotus Haze during a gank encounter, shift and a maze onto the server. Ooh, that does sound cool. Shardon Shoe. I don't know this name. I don't know if this is a Smurf or not. Maggie. Okay. Could be some good stuff. Okay, our opening hand has no money. We have 2 Botus. We have a Let Them Dream in a Hostel. I'm assuming we need to mulligan this to find probably a Charlotte, what's it called, a cohort, something that actually does something. Maggie doesn't put a lot of central pressure on as soon as possible. I didn't follow entirely, but I think at the AMT this weekend, or not the AMT, the districts this weekend, there was like a really weird crypto Maggie deck that was like trying to do triple deep dive with like Mayfly and the Polar Bear. I'm pretty sure. Oh, cheers. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Hey, cheers. Best of luck, have fun. So we'll see what they're doing. Otherwise, like Maggie, we don't really have to respect too much from Maggie on turn 1. I guess it could be like combo. For what it's worth, the deck list is not, or sorry, the new ban list isn't on. We'll just mulligan. That's a lot better, I think. Just finished listening to the runner tier list. Lovely stuff. Thank you, Sanjay. I'm just glad that there is one faction that's actually possibly tagging the runner, and it's not the one you'd think it would be. All right, double white space. Cool. So that's a nice card. So Hansa here, we can get rid of the Let Them Dream. We could put a Spin Doctor on the table, but that's mostly our turn, right? Because then Charlotte doesn't do anything. We could put Méliès on Archives. I'm not sure if Maggie's going to run anything on turn 1. It's probably R&D. Otherwise, we can do Charlotte white space advance. If they face check it, so be it. This just sets up our economy, and then we can put HQ as the mark. I think that's probably fine. Advancing Charlotte's a bit expensive, but we'll choose HQ here. It's Anarch, right? Right? Wait, the tag one? Yeah, it's Anarch. It's yet another we screwed up the numbers on this yellow Ashes card. I wouldn't even say the numbers. I mean, like, the whole aura of the thing. But yeah, the numbers too. I don't think there's any trap that should fire off 0. I think you have to give your opponent a way to play around trap cards, and that is usually by giving them text. That can fail. That was the big way that you could disassemble advanceable traps. Hermes Maggie, okay. We'll legally res this in case the 1 and 4 happens. We did call this text here, which is good. Trash it, add it. 1 and 5, they hit a spin. He can trash it if he wants. Doesn't. Okay, this is really interesting. Hermes. That might mean there's like girls pressure in this deck because the console slot and shaper is really important. You're not playing Madani, you're not playing Lilypad. So that really puts you off a lot of program stuff. So Hermes probably means like we're on a lot of multi-axis. So like Eru and girls and stuff like that. So icing us central is going to be important. I just think we want to get, especially because his money is not very strong here. We want to find the front company. FUT's also really quite good. That just ices up our centrals too. So I think we can just do FUT, res will FUT, white space, and then advance Charlotte. We don't really need like upfront credits. These white spaces are doing well. The one server I think we're worried about running is probably HQ. In theory, actually R&D is a bit scary because you can like get a Hermes bounce and open up one of these servers. But even just trashing FUT's pretty expensive. I'm gonna go R&D here. I don't think you run HQ twice. Hey Scrub, I've been playing so much MTG lately. I have no clue what's going on in Netrunner these days. Well, it's a new ban list that just came out on Friday. It's not legal till next month, so you're like in good company. which is like just figure it out altogether. I don't get why Ganked should cost nothing, but bite costs 4. It's like these turn runs into more than arithmetic problems of free traps, ain't it? Yeah, I agree. I do think bite is like a really old card, and Ganked is required to have like res ice, and that's kind of meant to be the downside. But like it turns out everyone has res ice at some point. But I just, yeah, I don't get it. Okay, I don't know if we have to proactively do anything. He got his money up. He has a stone chip, which is really nice. He knows we have a hostile, so we can unice that. We can put the Locosta behind the Charlotte. It just does slow us down slightly. We can put the Spin Doctor on the table, or we can just Hansei to let them dream to get like big money. That's not something we want to be scoring out, so I'm okay with that. We can do Hansei, but then we have to put the Spin on the table unless we mark Archives. I think if he steals 1 point on this turn, we're not super upset. This hostile's not necessary. The Spin actually might just be better because I don't think any of these cards are going to be threatened. We'll put this on R&D. People res ice? Somebody built something eggs-like for Shaper and it hasn't got banned yet. The only ice gets res if the runner is tagged. Then they can take 2 core damage. Ooh, Hannah, that's good. I think now we definitely want our hostile on the table because their money is not keeping up, but they have the ability to pressure us. I wonder if they're going to get what's it called? I'm going to res this. I'm okay with them trashing it. I don't think they will. If this was an agenda, they could have taken up to 5 damage. That seems fine. If they trash this, they have worse priorities. Now, actually, maybe playing with this in the archives is a bit frightening on the basis that they are a Hermes deck, and this is a liability. But this is very expensive for them. I like the concept of gank because ice firing is exciting. I guess it doesn't fire subroutines. It allows you to encounter it, but I don't know. Oh, they throw the Azumata, hits the table. Okay, so the game is slightly different now, that's for sure. We'll res this. They should know that we have agendas in hand. The Spin Doctor is controlling it. We'll Lacoste, of course, first on the Charlotte, and Charlotte gives us 4 on a card. Okay. Yup. So the problem is we need another piece of ice here because I want to be able to rush into this Azuma turn in the Hannah. He doesn't have access to any way to break ice, so just like having a Tattoo Bullet would be really good to set up the Regenesis play. And we can easily set up the Regenesis with Spin Doctor. So I think we need to get Hostile on the table, which is still 2 credits and 2 meat damage, which is good. We could overwhelm with things on the table, but in theory we should be setting up a Regenesis. I think if we draw once we go to 8, we can do Hostile, and then throw out the, what's it called? Yeah. There's no way for us to fast advance the, what's it called? The Regenesis. We can even just put Fuji on the table, Regenesis on the table, because if he steals it, it's a bunch of damage. Archives is now a bit cooked. I'm going to go HQ. Maybe it actually still is Archive. I can't tell what my opponent is doing. He hasn't run enough for us to have like a obvious plan. Follow Ganked into Volcano to administer CPR. Hey, Diamond, it's fun to go hellos. Please let me introduce you to my friend Cloud Eater 4 times in a row. I mean, I guess, like, I get why people want it. They want their big ice to do something, and it's frustrating when it doesn't. So he's threatening to trash this. If we res the hostile architecture, then he can run Archive and take 4 points. Where do we put Méliès? We put it on HQ, right? Yeah, on HQ. So I'll just shuffle this, I guess. We probably shouldn't, I'll be honest. I think we probably should just be a bit more brave about it and res the hostile and say you're not going to trash it. Because he probably isn't. He's probably going to run away and then trash the hostile with the Azumut. Because now the Azumut trashed 2 things this turn. I think what we did is probably incorrect. His money's not good, though. So at least the spin is kind of free. But if he trashes the spin with the Azumut, yeah, the hostile can't go. I think we should have just put this on Archives and then just res the hostile. The little Méliès badge? It's this, right? Yeah, of course. No stress. Is that what this is? Like, I can't tell. But what server is it on? Why does it not tell us? I thought it would be blue because of HQ, but it's red. DZ, okay. So he's going to discard and install something. I think he needs this to be like a coalescence. I wonder if we just install over the Charlotte. We probably should have. And yeah, just not shuffled back the agenda. I think we messed up. It's on HQ because you picked HQ? Oh, okay, that's sick. Okay, I get it. I thought it'd just be on the ID anyways. Okay, what they did is cool. I did not know that. It is a coalescence, okay. You technically can take those credits, but it doesn't really matter. Okay. Lionsbane seems good. Atini at this point is 6 credits. I think we're just going to push Let Them Dream. This is the turn we'll probably run Centrals. Into Hermes, this is kind of annoying. So if anything, we should maybe push the Regenesis here and just discard the Let Them Dream. So if we do install, 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 we can't discard unless we over install, which is like such an obvious tell. I think we just do draw, install, install. Yeah, I like Botu a fair bit better. This is actually cheaper for him to break overall, but the Lion's Bane has better subroutines. We don't need it to end the run. Yeah, cool. All right, that is really cool. Yeah. You have a Hansei in hard, you can discard? Yeah, I just don't want to play the Hansei. You're right, we can discard. I don't think we needed to. If we also found a Fuji there, that would be a better play. But like, we don't need more than 23 credits plus La Costa Charlotte. We also could have put the Regenesis on top of the La Costa, which would have been really good, just so that Hermes doesn't open up one of these servers. This turns off our ability, so he's going to run archives and steal something here. Yeah, this can be quite rough for us, actually. We might have needed to ice up a Central to force this. At least flipped. Sierra's the exact example of nothing happens except for Cell Portal. Sorry, Diamond? I don't know what it's about. Trash the cohort for 2. Now we're going HQ. Okay. Hit a Charlotte. Are we deep diving? I hadn't thought about that before. If you're ganked, you can fire Cell Portal, and the runner doesn't encounter all the ice because the run was already successful. Oh, that's the question. I'm not 100% sure what the text is on Cell Portal. It's been a while. Deep dive time? It looks like we got lucky here. Actually, we got really lucky because Archives was a free Hermes. Wake Implant is down. Okay, so we don't have to score this, but we definitely want ice on HQ. So I think we might delay this one turn. Yeah, I think we're going to delay it a turn and just ice up Central. So we'll do La Costa on Charlotte. Okay, so Atini, he can break once really well with Euler. Kind of, it's like 3 to break every time, I think. Botu is like very cheap, but not sustainable. So I think we'll just do this. I've gone straight to prison. Never collected 200. Last click, I think we can just advance this thing. Otherwise, we can ice all Centrals. We can double ice one of these because if it gets bounced, like the FUT has to go down. I don't know if we want to. I think we just pre-advance this and then threaten to score down next turn. We'll do Archives. So now playing this Wake, which did take the Echelon out of hand. I didn't realize that. That can be simultaneously back in. None of our ices right now weak to single Echelon coming in at 1 strength, so I think we're okay. They have 4 cards in hand. You have a full FUT, my friend. I mean, yeah, but also there's a Wake. Like, maybe you're right. I just don't think we have to take the risk. How's it going, by the way? Oh, Wacko. It's good to see that you play, what's it called, Arkham. But I think we can do the same play next turn. Like, I just don't think we needed to do it. Okay, now they're going to knick-knack and see what they'll run. I'm assuming it'll be Archives, which turns off our Regenesis. So, but like this Rolo is just more responsible around Hermes, I think. We're just not in any rush. Oh, okay. White space. Bad face check. Really bad face check. 3 credit loss and tag. That's a 5 credit face check. We're in prison. Serving dinner, gotta bounce. Have a good stream. I'll watch the VOD late kisses. Brandon, enjoy your dinner. Dive in response to Jam is reasonable. They have Hermes. Yeah, it's not the worst thing. Actually, the run Archives there would have like been really, really good. They ran R&D first. And then once they saw that we flipped Archives, I think that should actually tell them like, hey, wait, there's something in Archives. But he didn't pick it up. It's also nice to get the white space res in front of the FUD because that is a server that I think technically you need to disassemble. Let's see if he uses the Hana or just removes the tag. Removes the tag. So he can install something cheaply here with the DZ. That's nice. This will put us on 6 cards. I think we advance Charlotte, but I don't think I'm going to use Charlotte. That might be wrong because I think we can just throw out the Hansei. We just go deeper through a deck. Yeah, that's probably not right. We can get the Fuji in the bin. I don't think it's super important. Regenesis into Fuji means we score in 2, but with no cards in hand, like we might just be able to jam the Fuji on the table. We'll do... The order doesn't matter because we're always going to do this. So we'll do 3 net damage. Hermes fires. We hit a deep dive, a pinhole, and a simulchip. So the pinhole is pretty good. One of these cards can be bounced. There's no reason to res the hostiles. That's the only thing we would res here. Hey, Yuko again? Cat, what are you talking about? This is Méliès. How you doing, by the way? Now, this server I actually don't care about. So I think I'm actually way more interested in just putting the Fuji on the table. Now, the Fuji is on the table. If we find a Regenesis, we can just win. But I don't really care about icing the server up. Like, Charlotte Lacosta has done enough, and if Sergeant Shoot trashes it, it's like really, really expensive. So I think we actually want to get something on the table that pushes us forward. I think we just do front company, right? I think it's all the Focus is strongest, but yeah, for sure. And we're going to res it. But none of this matters. I think we'll put the Fuji in the bin because running archives is now very difficult. They have to run the central first. And if they run archives, they take 2 net damage. I don't see a world where we need the Hansei. It's maybe okay if we need to get something in the bin quickly. I don't see a world where we need another Charlotte. We can always do install advanced Charlotte, I guess. I think it's between these two for sure. I think we won't take the Hansei. Put it on archives. Any thoughts on front company Méliès U deck? I'm on the fence. Anthony, how's it going? This is the first time I'm playing it from the decklist of the week. If you're playing Acids, it seems quite good because you can really force them to run the wrong central. 5 net from Fuji is very sad. Yeah, in theory, we should have asked if they wanted to do something with, I guess, with Stone Chip, but the bigger damage is coming from this Fuji we threw in the bin. Why are you putting Méliès on archives? If they run archives, they take 7 damage? Because now we can control whether they take 7 damage? I think that's the answer. Because I don't think they're running HQ or R&D, but you're right, it might be a fallacy. It is 7 with FUD. It's 5 and then 2 from front company. But at least now we can control if they do it. I'm not really worried about them getting through either of these. Botu is not a threat yet. Atini is still pretty good. It is a threat. So you're right. We probably didn't need to, but I think it's the only server that it might actually matter. I don't know. Yeah, because in theory they could do it. They could like Stone Chip, draw. Is it the right play? No, but like, I mean, I guess we can play around that inevitability. I don't think we actually need our text on R&D or HQ as much as it is value. I didn't look at the idea. Yeah, this is not against list. Yeah, look, hey, who has 7 cards in hand? It actually should probably write the trade into them. Let's be honest, but okay. Yeah, this Charlotte Lacosta didn't go down, and they just gave us ice that we can now reposition, which is like very, very good for us because the server doesn't need to be iced. Longevity, interesting. I'm good with that. We can just do install ice advance, and then next turn we can jam the next piece. This means that any other agenda wins the game, which is good. So I think we're just gonna push it. Just 2 kinds of ice. This is probably a bit more than it needs to be, but we're softer on centrals here. I'm actually gonna call R&D here. Now I'm gonna call archive still. R&D means we can make sure the top of R&D is safe to Hermes. I the longevity here. This is a bit much. You don't need to do this. I think we're playing from very far ahead that we can be maybe a bit safer. Okay. Let's see how much this hurts. In the bin, they have access to no decoder. So they're going to decide what to do with the Teeny here, and it's not going to be pretty. They do not have a decoder. What a miserable deck to play against? I mean, yeah. It is Froco damage assets. It's kind of exactly what you'd expect it to be. Fire all. So they're down to 3 cards. They technically should not access here, because if they access here and it's any agenda, they lose the game. They can need to pop their Stone Chip first before they access. Ooh, they are the artist. Access? Yeah, okay, cool. Nothing we want to res here. They got a wake counter. Now Archives is technically dangerous, but Fuji is still 5 damage. They only have 4 cards in hand. Simulchipping for Unity. Okay. They lost that to damage, so now that's back. So they have a Breaker Suite. They only have 4 cards in hand, though. They're handing the white space. Okay, sick. Now they have to break this for 2, take FUT down. That's going to be 2 more damage. So like they are taking us apart, which is good. Yeah, Archives is no longer 7. It's only going to be 2. Yeah, they're 1 credit short of saving a credit, which is kind of funny. So we'll res the hostile. Res hostile, but for sure. All right, they lost the Daily Cast on a Stone Chip. They're down to 2 cards in hand. If this is a FUT, we're threatening technically like 1 extra damage here. They need to bring them the front company. It's the most important thing because it does make them have to interact with our garbage every turn. So this is the card that puts you in lock. Now, notably, Hostile is only first time per turn, so they've beat it. So either you need to trash the Hostile and the front company, or at least the front company is my guess. Because you cannot be forced into centrals over and over again. Unity does not break a teeny cheaply. I'm going to be a big grumpy baby if I think that people should playing this as Prisony and non-competitive JNL lobbies. I think they should be looking for comp games only. Yeah, maybe I should say that. I'm not 100% sure. Like, I haven't played the deck yet. I don't think a lot of people actually like choose the JNet lobby well. I think like the average Lou deck is probably going to have an okay matchup into this. I'm guessing. Ooh, nice. They're running. So this, they do get through. But they're also playing a good deck. We can tax their bullets. Let's tax their bullets. So this is 2 and 3 bullets. So now they steal the longevity. We have nothing to worry about bounce unless they run R&D and see 2 cards and win, which would be really funny. I wonder if you're not meant to swap the tattoo bullet because you can bounce the ice that we installed. I don't think that really matters. They did. That allows us to reposition. It's not a big deal, I don't think. Well, they have 2 cards in hand. Okay, so we keep grinding ourselves forward. We do want to find the Regenesis though. So we'll Lacosta and Charlotte draw. We have 25 cards left. Okay, Fuji, let them dream. So we can just do it again. We can do FUT in server 2. They still have to run a central server. Atini, Botu, archives we can mark. They can't run archives. It's functionally like not possible. So we could say Atini, they're down to 2 credits. They can sell the Azimut or the DZ to go to 4 credits. But we should definitely make a play here. And it has to be FUT. FUT behind this is expensive with the hostile. I think we just put them in hell. So I think we put this in server 2. What's in the bin? A Fuji? Gyro, we're doing well. How you doing? It's the first game today. We're just trying to figure out how to close this out. I'm assuming we just do Lions main and put a Fuji in the remote server. It's not going anywhere. We actually put Fuji on top of the Lacosta and like slow roll it over a couple turns. I ideally want if we had the Regenesis here, it'd be so easy. I think they can't run archives, so I think we don't call archives. I'm gonna call archives. I don't care about other centrals. Hey, Sneak Door, how's it going? Time to brew demolish your deck? I mean, I don't think you need to. I think Keiko is just as good, but like, yeah, you can play Lou. If your lobbies are marked casual, that's totally fair. If the game starts and not what you're looking for, let them know GG and bounce. Don't think that's rude. Yeah, I don't think it's super rude. Oh, they're running archives. Oh, good game? Yeah, no stress. You can take that back. Yeah, that'll do that. Of course. Yeah, so obviously they can't touch there because they died to Fuji, but they forget the front company has text. If you don't ice it, and that's why they had to trash it last turn, because then they can always just run archives. No FUT res? Oh my god, yeah, sorry. Also sorry. Forgot to res my friend. Do you mind? Thank you, I forgot. Do you mind if I get the counter? Yeah, this is an end of turn res. I was checked out for sure. Yeah, it's funny how we have the secret surprise FUT tag that suddenly does, well, technically, does it do extra damage? Yeah, it does 1 more. Thank you. Counter P1. Cool. Yeah, so now it really does change their math. They lost cards from their hand. I didn't check what they were, so that's good. But yeah, now running archives, technically, we could have made it surprise 3 damage if you don't want to res this, but we should res it for sure. Hey, Weddy, how's it going? Congratulations on the Tuesday event. I think you did quite well. Yeah, Secret Surprise FUT is like an option. It's usually not right, but you could do it if they're like making very perfect maths to be, if I run this, I can steal Fuji, and suddenly they can't. I don't think it's worth it on this board state because we're kind of trying to lock the game out. But yeah, it's like a play you can make. Muse is coming down. I wonder what we're getting. Zerum? Zerum Muse is actually really tight. They have to trash the Muse, which means it has to be something that they need to get here. Yeah, because they're on Hermes, so they don't get the extra MU that a lot of the consoles get you. This Waken plan seems really rough behind an Atini, and they're playing Unity because getting through this just stinks. They technically have to break this for like 5 credits. Like mid-range code gates, unless you're playing Buzzsaw specifically on end support. Not great. Yeah, Hermes and Muse, yeah, they don't play well together. They can knick-knack a run, but actually they have to do it on centrals first, which is really frightening. Our Botu is the softest server. They just don't know what this is, but they do break this relatively cheaply. And we don't know the top of R&D. It actually might have been totally right to do Méliès on R&D instead, because I don't know if they're running archives at all. It's a lot of damage. Full set R&D, C2 agenda win game. That's how we lose, which I think is probably why we should put Méliès on R&D, because then we can see the top card and make sure it's not an agenda and then just be safe. Thanks, Andre. I was surprised it was a G&K, but still nice. I mean, like, hey, you played games. There's great players there, as they usually are. So well done. Yeah, there was a G&K this Tuesday to prep for districts. There is a fair few players. It's nice. The Tuesday events, as much as I wasn't able to make it, are quite healthy here in Montreal. Not all of us are built like that. Okay, so he's going to lose some cards from hand. Actually, no, probably not. I think this turn we just do double advance on the Fuji. Oh, he has Euler, so now getting the Wake charges. Oh, installing Euler at the end of the turn is really rough. Now you can flicker this with a Simul chip. I think there's only one Simul chip left. But yeah, this is a card that you want the text to be relevant. This install here is mostly because the Unity now boosts up to 1 boost for a teeny, and then in theory the Echelon in the bin's a bit better, but yeah, not very good to use its text itself. Still no copy of Regenesis. Okay, so we can do advance. That like forces the issue. He's on 2 credits. He was probably going to sell the Euler, which is the install, to go up to 4 credits, and he has to run to Central. We lose on R&D for sure. If we put a white space there, it's 2 credits. The Boat 2 gets a bit more expensive. We could do advance, ice centrals. I honestly don't mind it. We could put the Spin Doctor on the table, which means I no longer have to like worry about the Fuji in the bin. That's probably fair. Yeah, I think so. I think that's probably fine. I'm not worried about the HQ run. It's a 1 in 5. Like the wake counters are a bit annoying, especially because you run this and then R&D. Like it means that we should put our mark on HQ. I think the most lockout play is to find a Lacosta for Fuji, find a Regenesis. Triple advance to Void Hermes? I mean, that would be ask for Hermes, I think. As soon as you triple advance a card, your opponent's like, I'm Hermesing you at all costs. So I'm not 100% sure what we're meant to do here. Like I'm struggling to figure out how to score these out on the table. I think we do advance, and then we install 1 card. The question whether it's an ice or whether it's a Spin Doctor. I mean, you still got Knick-Knack, which is cool. Yeah, they're on Euler too. Means like they can technically rush through a white space HQ. But this is still 3 credits to break. It's only 4 credits to break with Unity, so it's not a big difference. But if they trash the Euler, it becomes 5 credits to break. Yeah, I guess we have to ice up HQ. Let's do this. I'm gonna call R&D. Make it safe. Do a cheap cosplay version of this. That thinking of the shower. Wait, what? I'd be surprised if they can bounce back Econ fast enough, even with KK. Yeah, their money is really, really rough. I don't know. Yeah, they're on Sure Gamble, so they have 2 coming up. They're on Artist, which is a bit slow. They have 2 more daily casts. That's a bit slow. They have 1 more creative, 1 more coalescence, and they're trying to muse coalescence, but they're running out of MU is my guess. I simply meditate under a waterfall to learn how to touch the right cards. Oh, I see what the shower is. Past advice to advise me against chasing waterfalls. I grew up with the Weird Al one, so I think I learned a totally different message, which was also very relevant. All right, he's drawing. There's definitely like a spiral that front company makes you do, which is like, I feel like you can't play the game. I think that's why he had to trash this on the turn where he had to trash this. Here, in theory, if we score the Fuji, we knock out most of the hand. Threw out an Artist. Okay, we got a credit. Do we advance the Charlotte? I think we advance it for sure. We have to, but I don't think we fire the Charlotte. You hate to see it. You hate to see it. I think I'm over installing. No, I think I'm installing this on a new server. We could blow out his whole hand, but it opens up HQ. The FUT still sticks, which is scary. Yeah, it's probably correct. I don't like that we're doing it. I would want to raw install this, I'll be honest. This like blows up the whole hand, so like it's good because he has no hand in 5 credits and we have a front company. And like you have to play around in theory like other ice. But I would actually install the Regenesis on top of the Fuji so we can win in 1 score. I'm going to do this. Let's grind. We'll do FUT. Do some damage. Hermes gets a bounce. Unfortunately, Archives is a bit soft, but he has no cards in hand, so he can no longer run Archives. If an agenda gets stolen, it's going to be at least 2 damage, so he can't even run safely without doing draw. The HQ ice got bounced, not surprised. So we'll throw out the Charlotte, and then we'll throw out the white space is my guess. Which server do we protect? So he can run HQ, but it's lethal. He has to run archives. He needs a lot of cards in hand because of Fuji Fut front company. So we don't do archives here. I think we just do HQ. R&D you could run in C2. He doesn't know that we're not on bite. I don't know how he makes a run here. I'm going to go R&D. I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, res and grind for sure. Yeah, I think you need to bring down the front company. The problem is like this could be another front company, but I think we would have resed it by now. But also like trashing the front company, like we're stuck. We're totally stuck. It's like to deal with the front company, you have to lose 2 cards. You need to have cards in hand. We could be playing 2 1s that could take cards out of hand. HQ, I think. I mean, maybe. It's only a 1 in 5, and if these get stolen, we don't lose. I'm just like really scared of the next Fuji. Admittedly, if the Fuji shows up, we lose the game. Oh, sorry, like they flatline. Because the Fuji is 4 damage. Botu also is now really good. It's 6 strength, so it eats the whole propeller. Yeah, Froko's a cursed company, a card. You just have to respect it. Like our opponent had the ability to trash this and didn't, and this is what happens. Again, our opponent was very pressured that turn. I'm not saying like it was a massive like mess up, but if you are getting controlled by this, you can deal with it. And you have to find the turn where you deal with it. Like you have to basically go out of your way to be like, okay, I'm running this turn, I'm gonna tank something, and then I'll deal it. Like you can also just tank and run archives and jack out. Like that's actually very important. You can jack out. And I think a lot of times running archives, taking 2 damage, like get your nuke on the table, run archives, take 2 damage, jack out to not worry about Méliès, run their front company, take 2 more damage, and then also trash the hostile. But our opponent also had some money issues. Froko is unique, yeah, it is. But I'm saying like we could have rezzed the second one if this one gets trashed on a following turn. You know what I mean? Next turn, install Table of Genesis, LTD behind ice, advanced LTD. Oh, this is sick. This is really cool. I don't mind this too much. We could have called HQ here. So this is going to get the flip. But this is pretty expensive. Now, this doesn't touch cards, so there's no way you're going to die. So this might be a turn they have to take down the front company. Hannah, mind you, is waiting here. So Teeny is 5 to break. Woof. Oofa doofa. Let's see what this does to us. I don't think it's that bad. And now with only 1 credit, like you're not even threatening to run R&D. So it finds all of our agendas in white space. So let's see where he puts them. I'm assuming you put them on the bottom of the deck because you're not really like ready to run R&D. Because that's already 2 damage, let alone you have to be able to deal with this ice on 1 credit. I'd love to see or at least hear your thoughts about how to best play against this deck in general. I'm doing my first tournament next month. This deck scares me. Force Walker. It would take me a minute. This is my first game ever interacting with it. There are definitely some fundamentals when it comes to damage decks. A big part is like how you prioritize, how that you probably want to be playing less your deck and more playing against your opponent's deck. That's usually a thing that comes up. Like a lot of players are like, oh, this is what my deck does. But at the end of the day, like if you can just get your money up and trash assets, you know, that solves a lot of the issues. This deck doesn't aggressively score out if you can also run archives and to get the flips to force out Fuji stuff. And to do that, like, of course, I'm shorthanding. This is going to be very tricky. Every board state's going to be a bit difficult, but that's a big reason also why you have to deal with the front companies because you want to be able to run archives on important turns. Yeah, strong economy is really important. That's usually one of the big things if you are like a newer player and you built your own deck is you often under prepare for economy, and asset decks need economy. You do need long-term consistent money to be able to deal with it. Regularly with Fermenter and Fencer does a ton. Yeah, you play your like if you play any of the good Lou decks right now, you should be in a good spot. The question then is like how quickly can you face check ice? You're probably playing boomerangs. So Let Them Dream's on the top, Regenesis is on the bottom. Annoying. Now they have to run R&D this turn, but on 1 credit, the Botu actually has like legitimate text. Cror, decklist of the week. So he's letting us grab the agenda here, right? Because he knows we know this. Oh, there's a Fuji next. I forgot this is not a 1-pointer for our opponent. So he's on 1 credit. He's on 3 cards in hand. Like, I don't know why we don't do install advance here. The question is, what's our last click? He has 3 cards in hand running archives. You have to take 5 damage. And front company, so that's 7 damage. He did not trash the front company, doesn't have the money. He knows we have this. I don't know. This probably should have been bottomed. I don't know what else we're doing here. So 1 and 4 in HQ for the bounce, but you can't touch the Fuji without drawing, running HQ. So I'm assuming we're going to be running R&D this turn. That could be a problem for us. If we make a Tattoo Bullet into Botu, it can't be a problem. At least with a single propeller. It's a 1 and 3 on HQ to actually upset this game a fair bit more. Like to remind myself with all the damage decks, it's a zero-sum fun game, and they took all of it, so patience is the most important thing. It won't feel good winning or losing. Patience is really important. I would not exactly say it's zero-sum fun. I think it's fun to play an acid matchup when you're teched for it. When you're open deck list, that actually helps a heck of a lot. Making good decisions, like it does reward good decisions for sure. Generally, the acid decks have to take more risks, it feels, than like pure Glacier. Oof. Oh, beans. All right, so now this axis is potentially game losing. Because if they hit the Fuji, they take 5 damage and they lose. So it's a 1 and 3 here. Otherwise, they're betting it all on the Waken plan. I guess we could have called HQ here, but now they're down to 3. So we'll see what the play is. If they hit the Fuji, we win. They hit a Spin Doctor. They could trash it, but it's Azima counters. Concede any game for early launch. You play a fast deck, play a rush deck. You get early launch all the time. It's agreed tough, but very rewarding to learn how to pick these decks apart. Yeah, it's like a skill set. The thing is, like, a lot of players are struggle, especially like newer players, again, playing against assets, because there's a mindset. There's a bunch of decks in Netrunner, and it's always been this way, where when you're playing against the deck, your goal is not to win. Your goal is to make your opponent lose. And like so many people will play their deck. Like, I put this card in my deck to do this. You don't want to do that. You're trying to, oh wait, Archive's run here is actually really good. You're trying to make them lose. Like, don't try and win. Now that's like usually correct 80% of the time, but like that's all you're trying to do is if this deck doesn't have a table, it can't do anything. Your job is to make them not have a table. Actually, no, they can't run Archives because they don't have enough cards in hand. Very easy to claim that your opponent is stealing all the fun, but it's important to remember that there's skill involved, and unraveling the puzzle can be a lot of fun. Yeah, it is. It's like genuinely acid matchups when they are interesting, and there's ways you can interact with it, are fun. If people are dooming about this deck because it's been like on JNet casual a fair bit, like I don't know if this is the best deck. I have no idea. I think that's game. Yeah, there's nowhere they can run. Fuji and Archives, they flatline. This remote server could be a Fuji. It's unlikely. Oh, cool. Unfortunately, they just flatline to a Botu, right? If I res a Tattoo Bola, they bounce. If I res a Botu, they die. Right? They need money, yeah. I can safely say I'm not picking this deck up again. Why not? Big old bottle nose. Or button nose, excuse me. Hey, GG. Our opponent, firstly, hey, Sergeant, when you're watching this, good game. Thanks for the game. Sergeant, when you're watching this and you watch the replay, how's it going? There's a lot that you did that actually put a lot of pressure on me. There were a couple turns where you had really well-constructed plays. Hey, cheers. That's very kind. There were some really good turns where you had very well-constructed turns. The turns where you turned off our ability and threatened running Archives, you actually would have knocked us on our ass. Like, admittedly, cards in hand here got a bit shaky. You had to trash the cohort, or sorry, the front company sooner. But like disassembling HQ to make us flip, because we have no Spin Doctor on the table, and then running Archives, dethrones the Regenesis and bounce the card in the remote server. Like, it's really good. The one turn where you ran all Centrals, but then didn't run Archives, if you ran Archives, the game gets really interesting. Like, our opponent there was very, very putting us on the back foot. It's kind of sick. People learn the matchup and know how to beat it consistently, and I can play something more miserable instead. Okay. Yes, I do think this deck is more honest than a lot of people might think it is. Bringing a variant of this deck to Districts is fabulous and so dang fun. Yo, that Lacosta was really good. I would be upset if this was a petty cash, but we did get it pretty consistently. How many cards would we see? We would have seen 3. Hit a Let Them Dream, get the bounce. Have we considered putting cold side servers? You know what's gonna happen. It's gonna be cold side server for sure. Okay, chat, I'll let it up to you. We'll democratize this. It's only 9:49. That didn't take that long. Do we want to play another one of this, or do we want to go to the news and then go and play some other horrible Méliès deck? It's up to you. I don't mind either way. I would generally play another one of this, but if people are not excited about the archetype, we don't have to. Play this deck because it's not toxic enough. You're lucky getting both the Lacoste and the Charlotte turn 1. I mean, there are 3 of everything, right? I vote for news and new deck. Okay, news. People want news. Brendan, how's dinner? Did you bring anything back? Play Jay Shu's deck? Which deck is Jay Shu's deck? I don't think that's what we're planning to do, but I'll look at what Jay Shu's deck is. I'm assuming we can find it. Fun for everyone. First in NYC Districts. Oh yeah, right. I actually did not get to see how this concluded. This is sick. This is cool. It's Epiphany. I've been playing a bit of Epiphany this competitive season. I've found it to be quite fun. Playing 10 2-pointers, just like the world's winning list. Ice Suite here is ping and virtual service agent. F2P is cool. I was on Doom Scroll for a bit, or a Starlit Night. Those are also kind of nice. This card's cool. I just want to look at this really quickly. We're at Cohort. Great. Card's really good. All this looks great. Weird stuff. We're on Moonpool. I haven't played Moonpool in a deck like this. You have control over where your agendas are, so it kind of makes sense. But a lot of your agendas are 4-2, so that feels like it doesn't make sense. But I think maybe with Ludicrous City Grid, it's like a fun, interesting thing to do. In terms of like Epiphany, there are some Vlad Grid versions I've seen. I'm a big Hollow Man enjoyer because Hollow Man just works so well with Stoke the Embers. In theory, Vlad Grid's also really fun because it's a card that they have to trash, and it's much more expensive to trash than Hollow Man. So like I get it, it does make sense, but I've only played Hollow Man, and I think 3x Hollow Man is like just the best thing ever. Maybe with Wage Workers also this works because you can kind of advance a couple things all at once, and Business as Usual also allows you to do that double advance, which is a really fun fast advance combo when it comes to Vlad Grid, but doesn't work as easily with 4-2s versus 3-2s. Otherwise, we have the tag punishment we expect. Bigger picture, predictive as a singleton's interesting shipment from Vlad. So yeah, this is slightly different Epiphany, kind of like World's Winning Epiphany. The Moonpool is interesting. I wonder, where was this influence before on Moonpool? I forget. I find it really weird to be on 2 balance coverage. I like the card a lot, but I wasn't playing, I think I was playing Regolith. Maybe that's not the case. But yeah, Revanche it's just really, really good. Yeah, this sounds fun. Hey, Alex, how's it going? It's nice with Stoke. Yeah, Vlad is, I take it? Oh yeah, because you use the Stoke advancement on the way out. So you actually have something that they have to trash the next turn. That's why I think I also was running like at least a Mess and Chesfo, because yeah, you're right. When you score the Stoke the Embers, unless you're doing a 4-point combo with powers that be, yeah, it's a nice place to get the counter in a meaningful way, which is really cool. People when wide NBN versus people with wide Jinteki Hello HR JPEG. It's because it's the mixture of net damage, right? And like front company. Those make people really upset. Where they can't feel like they can play their game. But I like totally agree. It's the same sort of problem where it's like, hey, you win the game by disassembling them, not by winning yourself. Oh, shout out to 1x Checkist, which is fun. The ID is very strong. Which one? That won New York City Districts. I haven't watched the finals, so this is part of the news I wanted to shout out. On Saturday, I was able to join for the first 2 rounds. If you want to watch the stream, the link will be in the description. But Chia, Kato, streamed the New York City Districts. It was awesome. The first 2 rounds that I got to commentate were really fun. Apologies, I didn't realize the cameras were and the names were swapped for this game. So technically, everybody was getting commentary backwards. So yeah, shout out to I know Floating Fast. I'm not sure if I met Failure Gamer yet. But yeah, it was a great game. And these are always well produced. The gang in New York City is a really strong cohort of players. And I need to catch up on the finals. It looks like this Epiphany deck did win, which is awesome. And the top 4 had some great players, let alone the whole event. So do check that out. Yo, lol, that's me. Yeah. It was really funny because I was watching this and I was like, I don't think that Floating Fast is a Mercury player. And I couldn't figure it out. And then you were taking very risky lines that I also did not think is the way that you'd play. And then once I realized, oh, wait, never mind, you're the AUCO player. It's like, okay, this makes so much more sense. Because from what I've seen from you playing Floating Fast, it didn't line up. Like that's the cool thing about this game is you can watch somebody, like if it's a silhouette of a player, you just see their hands or whatever. You could be like, okay, this could be one of X players, or specifically, this is not X player. And I did not think this was you. The whole time I was like, this is strange. And I'm glad that it actually turns out to be incorrect because that's very satisfying. I was not, in fact, Mercury. I played an obvious trap last night on Jaden and they called it correctly, ran it anyways and tilted so hard. People do that. It's the like, want to be clever person, and I'll be very clear, I've been guilty of that a fair bit, where you say, I know what this is, and then you run it anyways, so that you always feel smart no matter what. Like the smart thing would be, the clever thing would be like, call it and then don't interact with it. But people like do this hedge thing where like, oh, it's a trap, I'm still gonna run it anyways, and then they run it anyways. They're like, oh, I'm so clever. It's like, no, if you were clever, you wouldn't have ran it. Respect to your opponent. The Solomir classic. Okay, unfortunate roast there. I think it's a Techie tends to be more trap based versus PD, so maybe it feels like you're trapped out of playing. PD, I feel like I can still try. You see that in poker also, it shows up everywhere. It's like not totally Netrunner, but it's a thing where people want to feel clever to be like, oh, I know it's this, and then it just still lose to it. Yeah, I know it's a bite. I just want you to pay for it. That's a different thing. That's allowed. But when you die to like the June bug or whatever. How was this venue? It looked really cool. I think the last time I got to see this venue, it was the one in Brooklyn. This is the one in Chinatown, which is in Manhattan, right? Yeah, seemed nice. Seemed cool. They have a good technology there. Cool. All my AU games were over under 50 minutes because everyone just died or let me kill them. Yeah, this game was an unforced flatline. I was check archive flatline, which like, hey, I mean, That does work. Does win Worlds, I'm pretty sure. I think. No, it didn't win Worlds. This weekend, of course, you probably know it's a Montreal District Championship. You can buy your tickets now. We're playing Saturday. I will be filming. At least the top cut is my guess. But we're going to be playing again. This is the old ban list. The new ban list is not around for Megacities, but we'd love to have you on the Silver Goblin. If you're coming in, if you want to buy your ticket ahead of time, that really helps to let me know how many people are there. You can, of course, buy your ticket the day of, but we'll be there. Oh, it's an NPC event. If you want to get your NPC prize points, your leadership points, let alone, of course, we have the 2026 NPC Scatterfield, which is awesome. So love to see you on the weekend. It's exciting to organize some in-person play, and it's just nice that people are coming out on Saturday. Really excited for that. Next news thing, of course, Jeff's tier list is up on Descendant and Metropolitan Grid. That's a new technology that Jeff figured out this morning, which is great. So this has been out since Monday. It's a tier list. It's a long time coming. This is the slowest we've been on the draw. Now, we did record this about 2.5 weeks ago. So by the time we recorded it, the meta was new. But what's really funny is like we recorded this weeks ago and then it comes up now. So Jeff actually says directly something like, oh, if they ever ban Extract and Svigator, op is cooked. And like, funny enough, that happened, as much as I'm not 100% just cooked, but it's probably a bit cooked. So yeah, you got to hear our takes from weeks ago, as much as it took a while to come out. The other side of it, which is the corporation side, will be out on this channel on Monday, just to give Jeff's video some time to breathe. Again, it's like twice as long as this one, for better for worse. The corp cards are obviously like pretty strong. I think on average, the runner cards in this set are not competitively incredibly strong, and you probably know that by now, but the corp cards are massively powerful. So do check this out. Of course, we dropped a video Friday morning last week. We've been quite busy. Let's just give that a like, huh? This is for the new ban list. We'll talk about that in a second. 3 cards got banned: Ashen Epilogue, Extract, and of course, the runner card. What runner card got banned? Ashen, Extract, and... Wait, what card did they ban? Off-World Office. Oh, it's a corp card, but of course they did. So this was on Friday morning. Mind you, the ban list came out in our emails on Wednesday, so I was only able to know about it for like an evening and a bit. So I had to record this relatively quickly, but it seems to be well received. We had to turn this around really quickly. So yeah. I don't know. I guess we could talk about this very quickly because we've already spent a fair bit of time on the internet talking about it. But Ashen Epilogue is banned out, Extract is banned out, Off-World Office is banned out. This is a good article. Very interesting to talk about like what's going on behind the scenes, especially when it comes to the balance of op in the future to come. The idea that NSG is not going to balance around op anymore, and if op is just too big of a problem, they'll just ban op, and that's probably for the best, right? We've had op for a while. It's obviously very interesting, very powerful, but it does have some constraints on the design of the game, and that's probably not going to be super consistent or super sustainable. I mean, Ashen being banned actually matters. A lot of the best runner decks in the format right now are relying on Ashen. I wasn't entirely sure how the Seb decks or the loot decks will look without Ashen. From what I've heard, the Seb decks seem to be a bit more cooked because they can just be ground out. They have actually a very limited amount of economy. They have a limited amount of ice breaks in the deck before the deck has to reset itself. And that does hurt a heck of a lot. So very excited to see for Megacities what's going to happen. It's abstractly kind of interesting that you can have 2 more influence in a Seb deck because Seb hasn't really changed influence in the last like 6 to 7 months or whatever. So that's kind of cool. So interested to see what that means and what the Breaker Suite or the economy package changes to make that make more sense. Seb's ability and some of the interaction points in the deck are so strong that I think it's still worth pursuing. But that's going to be hard. When it comes to the Lu value piles, the 40 card decks that are just like good stuff, Anarch, and then Ashens to get back through their deck, let alone the fact that they'll trash things with Audrey, that is a harder problem to solve. And I do worry the way that you solve that is by just giving your deck more late game economy, which means like companions and Keiko and all that good fun stuff. Maybe you're playing less prices and Lagos, which are more fun cards if you ask me. But I don't know what you do to solve that. The only other card we have in the game like this is Harmony AR Lab Therapy, which I do think actually makes a lot of sense in the Mega Magic deck. Less so obviously in Anarch because this is like 3 influence and it's not that good. Like it doesn't solve your issues. You play a 45 card loot deck. Like honestly, that might help. Like getting a slightly bigger deck might be okay. But yeah, it's just like if you're depending on Audrey, if you're depending on, you know, trashing cards from your hand to interact, you do just have a shelf life, which you have to deal with that. 100% confident that Extract ban just kills op. Not being able to tutor any number on demand just make the deck way too linear. Yeah, I think it likely will. Losing 18 credits from your deck already is a pretty big start. But then, of course, the fact that you can no longer control in a very proactive way what you're trashing, that is massively detrimental to the deck. This just means the only way to fire op is if your assets survive, or if your upgrades can do their text, or Azief. Like, there's just not a lot of ways to fire the text. I think that is going to be a problem. I do just come from the camp of anytime that people think op is cooked, it's not. I think even at the online Megacities, or sorry, districts this weekend, we started to see a lot more people experiment with like just full assets op. And so like there's probably something there for a while. And mind you, that was when Svigator was around. We saw op decks that were only running a single extract, but yeah, it does seem like it's going to be difficult. I think we're probably just going to go to full assets. Yeah. Just play mad to force a trash. I mean, yeah, if it fires once, it's good enough, right? Essa rises to the top of Anarch. I mean, maybe Essa seems like one of the other decks that does inherently need Ashen. Because I think you do. The difference with Essa is like, I think Essa just kind of gets enough multi-access by playing Essa's game plan that maybe you can win more proactively. I do not know how often Essa actually plays the Ashen in the matchups. I haven't seen it happen too much at high tables, but it is a way or a safety valve that allows you to play like that. I just don't think I've actually seen it, which means maybe you don't need it. But Essa obviously does do damage to herself and like, yeah, maybe you do just see enough cards on the way that it helps. Oh, Anvil. Yeah, I forgot Anvil. Anvil is like a very cursed card, but Anvil is a card you can play to trash your stuff forward. Event Horizon is pretty important. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like there's good cards. Like Op still has a very busted ability and has very good cards supporting it. In fact, some of the best cards in the game. But yeah, you don't have the proactive control, which means, yeah, you're way harder at like trashing Trojans and like putting your ice in the wrong place and stuff like that. But yeah, you do have Stavka. You do have some effects. Yeah, Anvil, sure. But yeah, I've been facing so many one-run decks. David, like combo decks, full combo decks, like OTK decks. What does it mean one run? How's it going, by the way? I did go up to 2x Harmony. My RE deck recently feels good versus the late game Glacier games. I could see that, like Harmony being able to tactically shuffle back the right cards. And I'll be honest, when it came to Mega Magic, like there's a chance that Harmony AR Therapy was just a better slot overall, because that deck had some variants where it played Ashen, it could lose its combo cards. Now, if you play a single Harmony, and you could play 2 Katurgas if you want to, like you do actually have the same amount of Illuminations in your deck, and you could even tempo out a Harmony in setup if you play 2 Harmonies. Like it actually probably is worth something in that deck, and it might just be strictly better than Ashen, and you save influence. So not that I think that deck is something you have to worry about for the Megacities districts or Megacity season, unless you specifically live around London. But yeah, it's that's fascinating. We tried a variant with Harmony. The Ashen was more reliable. I can't believe that. That's wild. I was talking a bit to Dullbulb about it, but you seem to be able to get totally numerically the same amount of Illuminations in your deck. Harmony back in Orca, debate to build this tempo even with the 2 credits on a click. Yeah. Are you KKing it, I guess? The deck is 100% still viable using Harmony. Yeah. And actually, like, I think that's what Dullbulb was saying too, is it might be better in a world without Off-World Office, because it seems like every deck might have just lost a turn, at least the fastest of decks. And I did bring this up in the video, but like this sort of, and mind you, Off-World Office being banned is like both really happy to me, but also really sad. Why is it really happy to me? Because there's always been this argument. And I think we've gotten to the point where like the frog is just fully boiled, that it no longer feels like a huge issue. But this agenda is messed up. It is messed up, and is one of the first agendas that really changed the idea of tempo when it came to agendas in modern Netrunner versus older Netrunner. Older Netrunner, you scored an agenda, and that was you seeding like forward momentum. Like you basically said, okay, my turn, I'm scoring an agenda, now you can go. And your agendas wouldn't often give you amazing value right then and right there. It would be like, okay, now you got a powerful utility ability that will matter over the next couple of turns, or you got a slow economy piece, right? Like corporate sales team saw consistent play. This was the proto Off-World Office, and it gives you 10 credits, but it only gives you once per start of turn. Admittedly, the runner and the corp start a turn. So the idea is on the turn that you score this, you do go down 3 credits, right? Like that does suck. It gives the runner a way to claw back. And that was some of the beauty of Netrunner, is the game had this like self-balancing mechanism where if the corporation pursues its win condition, they have to functionally do something off tempo. And off tempo was score a 4-2. They give you 1 credit next turn, right? And then when this card came out, it was score and then you're up on tempo. You get a card back with PD and you get 7 credits. I was very surprised to see the SBT team talk about it, saying like Off-World Office might be messed up. Maybe we need to go back to where you score an agenda and you cede tempo to your opponent. Because it is weird when your opponent scores this and then suddenly they're in a better board state than they were the turn before. Most agendas in the game don't do that. The closest we have currently is like Sacrifice Zone expansion, which is kind of somewhere in the middle. Pat Tap into sales team was so rough. It was really bad. It was really quite bad. This is corporate war erasure. I mean, you're right, but like I've never seen someone score this. The version in ONR is even worse. This was gain 7, but only if you had 7. Otherwise, you lose all your credits. Nobody ever played this. I've never seen anyone score this besides like I'm imagining this shows up in Chimera. Hey, Cephalopod, glad to see off Ghost. Scoring should be positive feedback loop. Yeah, I was surprised because we got so long with this not being exactly challenged that NSG functionally said, hey, this might be an issue. Now, this is a bummer on the other side because this is such a beloved agenda. It is the agenda new players learn to play the game with. It is like their safety agenda. It allows them, and it, like a good thing about this card is it encourages people to score out. It encourages, as a new player playing PD, to seamless launch this out, to get 7 credits, to push yourself forward. Like, it is good. A lot of agendas in the original core set of FEG days weren't that great to score out, for better or for worse. Like the HB, okay, no, I'll fire accelerated beta test. Maybe this is not a real point, but that was really good. And a lot of people have this as their safety agenda. Modernly right now, it doesn't show up as a 3 of in just about any deck besides the deck that was targeted, which is a Flood the Market deck. But there's a lot of decks that are played this weekend and last weekend, which have 1 off-world office in it. And that is technically less econ in the deck. I've scored it for negative credits. Don't think I ever got the +7. I've scored it and lost all my credits. Okay, very cool. I think I've scored it and lost a bit. What about Basalt? I think Basalt is a messed up card. Now, Basalt is probably a bit closer to what you want an agenda to be. I think I'd rather have something like Project Atlas overall, which is like, okay, you score something, you're down 5 credits. Now, technically, Basalt gives you an ability, just kind of like Proprio Negation, and that seems a bit more healthy. It's like, okay, you got a play piece, that's important, Proprio Negation, but it doesn't like give you immediate tempo now. It's something they have to play around, but it doesn't just say the corpse shoots exactly ahead. Right, like Proprio Negation is equivalent to Nisei Mark II, and this has been around forever, right? This is from 2012. This card actually was also an ONR direct reprint. And this sort of card is like what you expect an agenda to be. Tempo negative, but gives you utility piece. Now, Basalt Spire technically falls into the same camp, but Basalt Spire is just kind of messed up because like having access to 2 recursion is a lot. It really is a lot, and I just feel like recurring kill cards in any deck is not incredibly healthy, but that's a Basalt problem. Technically, how Basalt is formatted seems reasonable. Like SDS drone deployment seems reasonable. It does one thing, defensive, fine, encourages you to score it, and when you score it, you trash a program, but that's it. Technically, that's not forward tempo as much as that's a good ability, but it doesn't say the corporation's now suddenly up 7 credits. What would be a new baseline neutral agenda now? I have no idea. Genuinely no idea. I have no clue. Can you put superconducting hubs text on a 4-2? Maybe. Maybe you can. Is that good enough? Probably not. But I would love to hear people's ideas of what would be a reasonable. I actually think a reasonable agenda would be corporate sales team. Do you know what I think a reasonable agenda would be? And this was an ONR, a 4-2 that had like 9 credits on it, and it just had click for 3 credits. Like a regolith mining license that you had to interact with. Whether it said once per turn or not, you could figure out that imbalance. But I would honestly think a neutral agenda that was tempo negative because you had to spend clicks to liberate the credits off of it. Something like that, right? Like something that gives you with the sort of thing that offworld gives you, but takes you time. It gives the opponent a chance to bounce back. I think that would be so much more interesting. Just don't give 7 credits right now. Give 7 credits slowly. Something like that. Oh yeah, it's midnight 3. Okay, whatever. That's fine. We can have that. I actually would be very happy if there's no baseline agenda. I don't know. I think you need a neutral agenda. Tags should be a more universal part of the game. Bring back Private Security Force. That's such a weird take because Private Security Force was always like the worst when it came to a neutral agenda, because having the ability to do 1 meat damage for a click does not win games on most board states. Like if the runner is tagged, you just do 2 meat, do 1 meat, do 1 meat, do 1 meat, and then your opponent does draw, 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 draw. Obviously, at some point they run out of cards, but it's like exactly what you don't want. I don't know. Make a version of Wafa that doesn't give you credits until next turn. Yeah, exactly, Severn. Something like that. It just needs to give you it slower. I'm very, very surprised that ANR has never had what ONR had, where it was an agenda that functionally had the text of regolith mining license on it. It had credits on it, but you had to liberate them through time. That seems like very straightforward. PSF, but you also gain a credit when you deal damage. I mean, that doesn't solve the problem that PSF is just maximum grinder. Just grinder. Gia Hands is like close to it, and Gia Hands technically was a 3-2 back in ONR, and Gia Hands did see play in like weird low econ asset trap decks, especially ones that wanted to play a 1-pointers like Personal Evolution. Gia Hands wasn't very good for very long. This is probably not what you want it to be. I think you want it to be a good card like Regolith, but you want to give it a shelf life. This is a bad card with infinite shelf life, let alone, I don't know. I think giving this ability on a 4-2 would not be it. SSL was kind of like that. That's just geothermal. Sort of, but geothermal was more money and bad publicity. Like, I don't want it to be a click for 7. I want it to be regolith. You're right, though. I forgot about this card. SSL wasn't kind of like that. SSL was, well, sort of, but it was clickless, and it also fired on score or on steal, which is way too much. Gia Hands was an MVP in draft with low econ formats. Yes, I like Gia Hands in low econ formats. The card's not bad. Why not just reimburse 4 credit neutral off? Because it's boring. I think the answer is because it's boring, and then somebody will be like, well, then just play Cyberdeck Sandbox. But I think emotionally, a card that you spend 4 credits advancing and then you just get 4 credits back, which like Cyberdeck Sandbox does do that, but technically more. To me, that's the green mail problem. Like this agenda, I detest, because when you score it, you literally do nothing. Install advance events, gain 2 credits back. That is just emotionally so upsetting. It's like, it feels like worse than nothing because nothing happened. It feels so bad. It's like insulting to be like, oh, you can get the money back you paid for it. And be like, okay, cool. I'm playing a game. What did you do on your turn? Added a point to my score area. Oh, that's fun, huh? It's like, oh God. Oh God. AZ back 4-2 that lets you draw one of the mandatory draw for 4 turns. You can have a 4-2 that forces you to draw one at the beginning of your turn. It'd be pretty cracked. Do you know what's one of my favorite 4-2s of all time? Advanced Concept Hopper. This is just the coolest card. Now, the problem with this card is it has the ability to add like 10 minutes to a match if you get really into the tank about it. But this is like such a good template for a 4-2. The first time a runner initiates a run, draw a card to gain a credit. Yeah, this sucks because it gives a really important decision that can be easily missed, and then it's bad for rules. And like that decision can technically, you can spend like 2 to 3 minutes on it. That's not great. But these sort of abilities I like. I like them. They're simple, they're clean, they're easy to understand. 2-1 refunding 2 is far superior to anything that requires FA or NA refunding its advancements. It depends what superior is. Stegadon but cool. Oh God, Ion. Stegadon but cool. Yeah, Stegadon but cool. Okay, yeah, sure, I'm in. Green mail does feel big meh. It feels so meh. It feels so meh. I don't want to probably play a 3-2 green mail that gives 3 credits. No, I don't think I do. A 4-2 with Rizeki text might not be messed up. Like, it actually might not be messed up if it just says at the start of your turn, gain a credit. It gets bad when you score 2 of them because that gets like just emotionally devastating. But if most Netrunner games are meant to be about 12 turns and you get the thing scored on like turn 4, turn 5, or turn 4, turn 3, turn 4, you're probably going to get 7 credits from it. So it's probably off-world office, but the game closes fast. It could be fair. The off-world office just says gain a credit at the start of your turn. Now, if you play like a 22 Glacier turn game, like that's probably going to be a fair bit better. So I don't know what that encourages from you. But honestly, yeah, Rizeki text might just be fine. Honestly, kind of fine. Missing Bologna? I think we're better. It's weird because like that's one of the big things this ban list did not address NBN, and NBN seems like it needs a lot of help. NBN is likely to need more holistic help, like new card help and stuff like that. It also is a shame because a lot of the NBN that came out in this last set doesn't really move the needle when it comes to the new archetype it's pushing. At least so far it hasn't. That could change, I guess. But yeah, Bologna is probably just a bit too far beyond the pale to fix. And then alongside now things like what's it called, Nebula, and along things like Revanchulate, like there's a chance that Bologna can't come back because those cards can only exist in a world where Bologna doesn't exist, is my guess. That's just sales team. Yeah, but corporate sales team has a shelf life. I'm just saying, like, don't give a shelf life. You don't need a shelf life. You could also don't say it every start of turn, just say start of your turn. But like honestly, you could reprint corporate sales time. Ashen Band might help Asset NBN. I could see that. I also think there's a chance that like less, and I don't actually know if the matchup, it feels like a 60-60 matchup. Maybe I'm wrong about that. But there's a chance like less Seb is good for NBN assets in general. I'm imagining with the lose around, assets are still going to be challenged. At least it might not be free. I don't know how strong those lose pocketbooks are as soon as possible with Oppo researches. But yeah, there's a chance like the changes to the meta will just like naturally help or hurt some of the factions that are not well represented. Feeling sort of burned on NBN, just wanting to brew decks with Synapse is putting me in a jank rut. Sorry to hear that. There was a Synapse deck that did really quite well, I think, at some events in the States somewhat recently. Other than Lou and Seb, Epiphany is a good matchup spread into the raw data. Yeah, I think it does. And not a lot of people are playing it. So not a lot of people know how to play around it. I would, seems okay. A 7-4 that gives you 7 credits. Now we're talking. Just make it a 7-7. Because then it's very even. Between Solidarity Badge and Wheels and Lou, I'm still sleeping on NBN. Yeah, I mean, It doesn't sound good, does it? Anywho, that's the new ban list. It's only not for this weekend, so I don't care about it. But it is for Megacities, which are as soon as not this weekend, but the next weekend. It's going to be interesting to see. I think there is some meta things we can look at that are going to shape it. There's a lot of good decks that are doing quite well in this meta. I think we can quickly do a little meta dive in to see what the last weekend went like. Yeah, let's do that really quickly. So we'll do Maker's Eye. We'll do the meta. We'll do search by tournaments. 7/7 to deal 7 core. Now draw 7 though. Draw 7, do 7 core, 7 tags. But it says you can't win the game. All right, how do we do this? I included tournaments. I have to do the date range. Okay. Last weekend was in April. I'll just do that. I should be safe. Cruel Ultimatum. Yeah, exactly. But it's sick because he scored a 7/7. Apply. All right. The ban list was announced, but not in a way that changes any of these stuff. Let's see what we're looking at. The runner win rate is slightly higher than it used to be. It's not. It's the same. It's 43. Méliès taking that on top, followed by PD and Op. Zwicky and Ayuko trailing a fair bit. Surprisingly, there's actually fewer ops. I think this swapped at some point. I think more players are more confident to pull up a PD, but Méliès seems to be the deck that you're statistically going to be playing against. NBN is all in the back. That is pretty rough. Corporate win rates. The fuck? Okay, it was only 12 games, so it's not really a data point. But like on many charts, Ateo was literally in last place. It's funny to see it up here with only, again, like 2 turns of games, but that's obviously quite good. Otherwise, we have Epiphany. Okay, numerically doing well, but again, not a lot of games. That's probably like 4 players. And then this is where you start to see a lot of data. And this is, again, week after week after week, as much as people are not playing Ayuko, it has been the top of the charts every week for the last couple weeks, followed by Op, followed by PD, followed by, some NBNs. Méliès coming down. I do think Méliès is now, like, this is technically below the average corp win rate. It's still good. Like, you'd be happy with a 59. But I do think more and more people are picking up Méliès, which makes its win rate on average go down. Otherwise, the data gets a bit too loud from this point downwards. Let's look on the runner side. Lou is now the average Anarch. For a while, people were just playing Essa and playing good stuff Anarch in it, but Lou seems to be the place. Moosey Hot is overtaking Vic, which I think that's the narrative we saw the week before. And Seb is seeing a fair bit of play too. I think people are figuring it out. In terms of Shaper, Orasana, which was the deck list a couple weeks ago, and I didn't do a good job making it look good, but I'm glad that people are actually properly picking it up. And this might be the biggest Baz representation we've ever seen on a pie graph, which is pretty sick. Shaper doesn't seem like it's doing great in terms of representation. I don't know if it's converting well. We'll find out together. But yeah, the Shaper chart is kind of similar to the NBN chart, at least emotionally. It's nice that Orasana is doing something. My guess is Moosey Hot's winning more than Vic. So Seb on top. Seb's 60 win rate is now a 54. Megs is doing good. Arsana is doing good. And actually now there's only a couple IDs that are above 50, which was rare. There usually is only one, as much as 51 is not a big difference. And yeah, Moosey Hot's at 51%. And where are we looking at? Vic all the way down there at 37. I do think that a lot of players are shifting to Moosey Hot. And I think on the average criminal playing is Vic, the average competitive criminal is playing Moosey Hot, which is really cool to see. There's like 1 or 2 Topon players this weekend. They're doing all right. They're doing quite good. I think there was one at the online event that I posted their link. I think Counter 0, and then everything here. Lou's actually not doing so amazing, but that is above average. No, that is average. That is average. Again, as much as big numbers usually breaking that down. Wild. Glad we unbanned Deep Dive and Shaper's struggling. I think that will change. I think Shaper is like the one faction that generally takes the more work to figure out how the deck works, because their economy is way less straightforward. Their breaker suite is less obvious. Their tech pieces are a lot less tuned. There's very few metas where Shaper is amazing off the bat. And I think Shaper has some good stuff it can do. I think it's way harder to play, but it's way harder to tinker. There was a deck, and I think it was played by someone named Janinator. I don't know if that's meant to be Jantuno or not. But it was this weird deck that was played at one of the online events this last weekend. I don't think it did particularly well as much as the player made the top cut. I think the deck won half the games, but it was a triple deep dive deck that fired them all in a single turn. It is doing the same sort of like triple Pichashan nonsense, probably with Illumination. But yeah, like there are good decks there. I do want to say, like, it doesn't seem like alone deep dive is amazing in the meta. That's what I've heard from a lot of people, as much as I'm not a deep dive player. And that is because like damage is not great into damage. Sorry, damage is not good. Like Ayuko and Méliès can be a bit hard, I guess, into deep dive. Defensive upgrades are hard into deep dive. PD is hard into deep dive, not so much because it's going too fast, because it's not really icing centrals, but getting back an agenda that requires you to spend a click, let alone also, of course, the new fake one pointer is really bad into deep dive. Like just naturally, the world became worse against deep dive as much as deep dive is here. Counter to your Topon right up begins with essentially no Topon isn't good. Anarch is just cracked. Shaper struggles are going to go down now that uninteractive combo shapers are out and about. I don't know how many uninteractive shapers there are that play around, but it's interesting. The Baz section of the pie is very pleasing in aggregate. The Baz to Az section, the big Az section. I think we're honestly doing fine. Actually, Az and Baz did, I think, a bit better the week before, but these are not massive numbers. Actually, that's 96 games for Az. That's like amazing for like a weekend. That's absurdly good for a weekend. I know Meteor posted the list, so it's pushed more people into Az as much as is it an Az deck? Kind of is. PD's Agenda Suite is hard deep dive counters. Yes, it is very, 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 very not good to deep dive. It's hard to deep dive train. And of course, the fake one pointer is hard to deep dive. It hurts. It really does hurt. I feel like you have to wait to fire deep dive until at least a couple of the let them dreams are out. Yeah, maybe. And maybe it's not enough time. I honestly don't know. I need more reps. Hey, noob. I had a few games of the Maggie 3 deep dive and a turn deck and it blew my mind. Cool decks doing cool things. Is it published? I take it? Or was it just published because it was published during T.Null Signal, like on the tournament suite? I'm not sure it was published, but yeah, you could see the deck list because it was broadcast. Maybe it was published. Popular. Back then Shaper was garbage though, post-Woo? I'm not sure back when. Dive wasn't good card back when it was printed, but that wasn't because GFI wasn't a card. Oh, was a still card back then? Interesting to compare in retrospect. I would have to look into it because my memory is not amazing when it comes to timestamping things like that. But there's a chance when Deep Dive came out, it wasn't amazing. It got really good at a certain point. Oh yeah, it's here, Janinator. This deck is inspired by 3 runs, 1 game. I spent the last month tuning and figuring out the best way to build this kind of deck. I do not think this is the best iteration of the deck, but the results indicate the deck can be surprisingly competitive. Gameplay combo. Okay, so the idea from this deck, without reading the write-up, so I'm going to be wrong, but we'll sight read a bit here, is that Read Write Share is really good for combo decks. It's a very, very powerful card for combo decks. And we've seen that in Magic deck. Not only does it allow you to set up, but allows you to control where certain combo cards are. So my guess is with this deck is you want to find the deep dives and put them on the Read Write Shares, because when they're on the Read Write Shares, they can't be sniped by damage, which is something Magic deck will do too. And that means you can actually fire the running hots with impunity and go ahead and get the massive click turn where you have all the clicks in the world. And then you can shuffle them back in your deck. Now the deck has a single Mayfly, which you can recur, so you can run any server. I think I tuned into the broadcast, and the ice on R&D turned out to be a Samak Samoon, and this deck cannot deal with Samak Samoon really well. So the runner had to make a run and just hope for the best. Shout out to 14 Influence one more time. And it has Nanook, which also can't deal with Samak Samoon as much as this is an infinite breaker. As the polar bear will betray you, so do watch out. And then everything the deck wants to do is just set that up. I thought this deck has a Peach of Shaw. Apparently I'm wrong. It's just like running hot 3x and playing that a heck of a lot. And you're just setting up to be able to do that. So that's it. That's it. Once again, the Seb package turns out to be a problem. What's the Seb package? Yeah, this is triple deep dive. Meteor, how's it going? It's triple deep dive, not double deep dive. Dive became good when Shaper players realized they could play DJ Sable. Hey, Cranked. Congratulations, by the way. APOC was legal when deep dive was printed, if I recall correctly. That sounds correct. Yeah, that should be correct. And I do think that was at the point where Apocalypse boat won Worlds. So that's the same time. Deep dive is Borealis, I'm guessing. Anywho, you can try this out. I think your opponent won't enjoy it. You do have pinhole threadings to deal with defensive upgrades, but technically like your ice text matters a fair bit more in this deck because you have actually Nanook and Mayfly and anti-AI tech. Yeah, can matter. It has Daig. It has Hippocampic. I'm not sure exactly why. I think we're taking a fair bit of core damage. I wonder if we're tempo playing running hot to set up. I'd have to read the write-up, but yeah, that's interesting for sure. Airblaze the answer for Samuk, I think. It doesn't work. Right? Because Samuk is a cost. I think if you prevent it, you don't take it. Yeah, unless the runner suffers 3 net damage. If you prevent the suffer, I think the run ends, is my guess. Yeah, I don't think it works. And of course, this is not on encounter attacks. Yeah, I don't think it works, unfortunately. Because yeah, any card that forces you to pay an additional cost, if you deny the additional cost, you didn't pay it. Yeah. Yeah, it's not a win encounter attack, so I don't think it works. An opponent place this and lose 2 deep dives to running hot hits. Tragic. Oh, I think you need to protect them. I'm assuming we do. Also, why is this deck on Coalescence? I guess with Maggie, it's just like a 3-credit econ card. Or a 2-credit econ card? Wait, why are we on Coalescence? Just to have something for Simulship too? Oh, spec work. We have spec work. Okay, no, that makes sense. Cool. I do want to shout this out quickly. Startup had some changes too. Also banned off-world office. I didn't have the time to read this article. This was not shared. I don't think only the standard one was shared. No, maybe the startup one was shared actually. I just don't know anything about startup, so I wasn't comfortable making a video about it because like I don't know. But yeah, with the banning of seamless launch, it became necessary for corporations to telegraph their agendas. Of all the 4.2 availables, off-world office is by far the most widely pursued of all available 4.2s, and then it provides uncharacteristic upside for the risk associated with scoring it. Yeah, that's one way to say about it. That being said, I think you can now play 3 or 4 3-pointers. I think it's now 4 3-pointers, which is a rule that I'm kind of fine with. But yeah, there is a fair bit of a ban list in startup. A lot of HB stuff getting targeted out. Seamless launch at some point I could see getting banned in standard, like no joke. I don't think we're there at all. But yeah, it's cool to see the bans actually getting mirrored across different formats. Is Worlds 22 Arsana back on the menu with deep dive back? No Ika is an issue. Yeah, no Ika is definitely an issue. No deep dive, like not deep dive. No trick shot definitely hurts, but Ika was like a big thing for Arsana. I think like Arsana can and easily should be explored more. I think people are doing it, but I think that deck, yeah, Ika was kind of important for the Arsana engine. You could probably do something similar though. I've been playing Netrunner, a game we play with our bodies, and it's weaker but fine. Yeah. Yeah, trick shot was a thing back then. I'd be surprised if seamless banned before Flood the Market. Oh, I would not. I would not at all. I think Flood the Market is actually kind of a fair card. Right? People get so frustrated when you hear this. Like, fully operational is kind of a fair card. I think the problem is not this card, but the problem is like some of the tempo cards that allow you to do the board state as fast as possible. But inherently, this is like a very good Netrunner card that gives you so many avenues of interaction. Same with fully operational, right? Like there's so many ways you can interact with the board. Ice destruction, acid destruction, clearing the remote servers. Sure, maybe the problem is like they're setting that stuff up so fast and you can't deal with the ice fast enough. That is the issue. That could be a problem, but it's not this card. Seamless launch, you could talk about for like until the cows come home about why this is a problematic card. And some of the issues get way deeper than that. It's like things like Hermes, right? It's like taking no risks on the table. The back in the day, Netrunner was about advancing your agendas on the table and saying they're there. And that was like where the game was really fun and like where bluffing came up. But the fact that you can threaten every single card to be a 4-2 with busted text, actually rip off World Office, because Seamless Launch credit positively scores out your agenda on tempo, this is so much more problematic. Runners can't interact with this card. Runners can interact with this card. They can interact with this so much. Fine with Flood. I'm Flop's biggest hater though. It's fine too. I'm okay with that. I think Flop's biggest sin is mostly just making draft or face check game losing. I quite like Flop. Yeah, I could see the draft or face check being a bit messed up. Oh, losing DJ is super rough. I forgot DJ was in that deck. Man, I forgot about DJ entirely. PD's for sure a problem with the deck because being able to score 5 points with a single copy of Flood is wild. I mean, yeah, that does help too, that you can play the same copy over and over again. Yeah, PD's text is really good. Like PD has 2.5 text boxes. Yeah, it's really quite nice. All right, last thing for news. I wanted to read this. Abraham shouted this out. Abraham does the online Showdown events. You're probably familiar with them. This is the Summer Showdown. It is next month. I believe it's in May. On May 23rd, you can buy a ticket here. The Showdowns are fantastic. They're online tournaments. They're open to everybody. They're very approachable to casual players, which is fantastic, and they usually have great streams. They always have great streams. I don't know why I say usually. I say things without confidence when I don't have like a citation, but no, I have a citation. The streams are great. This will be streamed likely on Axie's channel and maybe here as well. I'm not 100% sure. We're trying to sort that out. But yeah, these events are fantastic. If you haven't bought a ticket, you haven't joined it, you know the sort of prize support you get in the mail is an absolute treat. This early registration prize is a very, very sexy Lou, 4015. Who's the artist on this? Is this, it has to be credited somewhere, right? By Valentina de la Rosa. Valentina de la Rosa is an illustrator and artist working out of Seattle, Washington. Aside from her day job as a wage slave, she's been pursuing art as a passion and as a freelancer for the last 5 years using Procreate and CSP as tools of the trade. With a start in the furry fandom, Valentine Valentine's style focused on unique and colorful characters, which translated naturally to the flashy and queer futurescape of Netrunner. Awesome. Then other prizes, the Tucana by Kat Shen, that is sick. This Audrey has to be from Scott Aminga, of course it is. And then these music the Hannah, like there's some really nice Hannah altards out there. This is definitely one of them. Still the dog on there. This is great. This is from Valvi. Valvi did the Scatterfield this weekend. This is also by Valvi, which is a quite nice muse and very much looks like the muse you know on the original card. So there's Hannah's, like they're very good homages to the actual card. Also the cityscape having that sort of purple tone. I feel like we saw that a bit across that cycle. It's nice to see that there too. Got Essa. Nice. Burning up an extract is fun. This Nico campaign, this is from Kira. Of course it is. The slash and burn I've seen before. This is Mateus calls 6 foil winning and enemies. This is one of the ones I believe is from like public domain. I want to say James M. Somerville. I'm assuming that's the case, which is a nice way to make art. Link to this article in the description, but these events are fantastic. There's always like 100+ players and they seem to be absolutely incredible events. So check that out. It's coming out May 23rd. It's just around the corner. This will be within Megacities. As much as like these tournaments, like these tournaments, because they're not part of Null Signal Games, can do prize support at this level. And that's like a very weird thing where if you want to go to a tournament that has like, I don't know, this quantity of prize support, it has to be off the NSG circuit because NSG really does limit with how much prize support you can provide. So it's strange. It's strange. It's really, really weird. As much as I understand the concerns behind it. While we're on the news, can I show the month's Netrunner cryptic crossword, by the way? Yes. I don't know exactly what that is. Like on rigging up. Last time I interacted with the cryptic crossword, I felt really, really unclever. So I made sure not to do that live again. That loop makes me feel feral. Why is Essa a dragon? I mean, why not? We're breathing some fire. We're destroying some stuff. There's a chance that the article will talk about it a bit more. But do check this out. Link will be in the description. Audrey's high number of altars is an indicator that it will make it to rotation unbanned. Please do not awaken that dragon. We've been doing monthly cryptic crosswords since the first one. We posted April's one today. Okay, cool. Yeah, I saw that on my YouTube notification. It's the one with the borehole on it, right? Finally, part of the news, it's soft news, but we have started up Velma's Diner technically as of this weekend. We did a stream on Saturday night where I lost power just 3 turns in, which is unfortunate. We came back on Wednesday and we're playing through Season 2, The Round City. If you want to dive into Arkham Horror at all, and Arkham Horror is having a bit of a renaissance right now, a new core set, so it's like a great time to jump in. You can always follow along. I try and make the streams as approachable as possible. I'm playing on table in paper, and so far it's been really fun, and like people are very, very kind. The response has been fantastic, specifically for a channel that like has barely done anything. We've barely been around here, and like it's been 4 days and 1,000 people watch us. It's been absolutely incredible. So if you want to drop in for some Arkham, we'd love to have you. It's been a lot of fun. It's really have been. Specifically, Borehole, a really good Borealis card. I don't know what to do with that information. I don't understand cryptic crosswords. All right, this is the deck I wanted to play today. Again, the jungle is dark but full of diamonds. That's what we're trying to get at here. So this is the list that tiebreakers are playing, right? So first and third at Geelong, second at Philly, second at New York City, etc., etc. So this is a Méliès U deck that is doing the thing that frightened me. Maybe there's a chance scheduling Andre should have figured out not to fill the whole stream with Méliès U, but I do think in terms of the most popular deck in the format right now, you should learn how to play against it and see what it can do, because this is a deck you will see on the weekend for sure this weekend. In fact, next weekend, also probably for sure, because all you have to do is take out one off-world office. And in fact, we will, just to make sure we're respecting the new ban list. Not that we have to, because it's not legal yet, but we will on JNet, because why not? Another big thing is if people are playing less Seb, it's okay to have big ice. Like technically Seb Devil Charming up your Cloud Eater is like the worst thing you can ask for. And that might happen less and less and less and less if people are just playing less Seb. Now, what does this deck can do? It can play Lotus Haze, and Lotus Haze is a messed up card. It really truly is, because it allows you at instant speed to move around your upgrades. And not only can you, of course, end the run whatever you want, but we have 6 copies of the worst upgrades in the game. We have Mitra. And Mitra can just blow you out. While it does give you some utility and some money and allows you to do things like, you know, refly Swatter or play anemones over and over again, which is super cursed. But if they face check into a rezzed ice and they have their breaker, haha, sorry, your breaker doesn't matter. It's now suddenly an empiricist and you're taking more damage. I am really surprised that the deck is not playing what the other one, not empiricist, but a Lion's Mane. I do think the interaction with the top of the deck does matter a bit with Méliès U. The write-up does talk about a bit, and even talks about like some weird lethy combo things that I don't think I've considered. So there is some interesting interaction there where Empiricist, if you're multi-accessing R&D and then you hit the Ganked, you can do some goofy stuff with that because they have to access the cards that you touch. I think that's how that works. But then of course Ganked, and Ganked is just like such a problematic card. I hate this thing, so I need to go out of the way to feel what this feels like, because at any time if they run any server, they have to be able to be afraid of hitting that same ice on that server multiple times. Empiricist doesn't get worse the more times they hit it, but it does potentially be lethal, and you just have to watch out for that. Also, you can just put the Ganked on top of R&D with this from HQ, which is gross. I swear this deck was cooked in a lab specifically to screw with the Crims who dared to run without all 3 breakers down. Yep, 100%. Can't boomerang either because of Mitra. Like, it's gross. Now, what do we do with this offer office? Like, I'm assuming we just play a Proprio Negation. I don't think we have to play a Sisyphus. Everything else about the deck, besides like the Lotus Haze getting scored, it comes down to how much is your opponent going to be scared of your upgrades. Because it's relatively straightforward. It does have the Charlotte Lacosta combo. It doesn't have any hard end the run code gates besides Fly Swatter, but not that you can tank in a teeny. So it's like relatively fair, besides the fact that Ganked is one of the massively most unfair cards. Because this not only can be a target with Lotus Haze, it's also just a card that can show up. Like anytime that you touch a card in R&D after you break an Empiricist, it can just be another Empiricist. Oops. And then on top of it, of course, with Méliès U, we have control to bring the Gankeds from archives into our hand to risk the 1 and 6 or whatever it is, or just to see them on top in R&D and leave them. Longevity to cycle our Gankeds? Yeah, I think longevity would make a lot more sense. I like longevity a lot. Also allows us to recycle our economy cards, which we technically do lose a 7 credit econ card. It's a 1-of though, so I don't know how much it will fire. Play the Sisyphus, become what you hate. I don't think I'm going to. I think Sisyphus requires a fair bit more support. Like I'd probably play Seamless, but I don't think you can touch the influence on this. Really surprising to see 3 Brawn. I was a big Botu enjoyer. I think Botu is quite nice. Brawn doesn't work particularly well with Ganked, but Botu does work a bit better, I'd guess. I don't know what we're meant to be doing with this influence. I think I also saw this in the list Sokka published, which was the new Veng list, that we're playing like log jams and also still spending influence on Brawn. Maybe that's just saying outside of ESO, like Brawn is still just that good. But yeah, it's always surprising to see Brawn, where Botu feels like it's doing something Brawn-like. The Brawns are meant to make Propeller more taxing. Okay, yeah, I hear that. I do think the fact that you can go through Botu twice with a single early Propeller is like, doesn't feel great. But let's give this a shot. Just as dang strong as a barrier. It is one of the best barriers in the game. Shout out also to like, man, Grubber is better. Not better. Grubber is better than the amount of play it's seeing. Like Grubber is actually pretty good. Earlier versions had 3 bronze, switched to Ansel 2 partly because the ESA matchup was scary and partly because it's great with Ganked. Yep. Yeah, I can see that. Even Ansel 1 is good enough with Ganked. Like I don't know even if you need Ansel 2, but Ansel 1 is good enough with Ganked. Pretty good. Let's give this a shot. We're not a runner. I'll fix that. This is more like Glacier Méliès, the sort of Méliès I think somehow people are more happy with. All right, we're playing against our world champion, 54 card deck, so it might be similar to that world's list. Our opening hand has Charlotte, it has the Brawn. Now the Cloud Eater will probably get bypassed. It still has good text, thanks you too. But I'm assuming this is going to be central pressure, deep dive, stuff like that. I like this hand. The best thing would be to jam Charlotte behind, I don't know, I guess the Brawn. So we do install advance, hit Charlotte. It's probably good enough. Manage to cut some cards 54. I mean, manage to add cards. I think I'm used to 50. Now this is so obviously the Charlotte and the face check. If it's like, it's bad to like I don't know what you're meant to do here. If we get HQ run with like a burner, it's like not the worst. The send a message really wants us to put an expensive ice on the table. So I think I'm just gonna like hedge by do Charlotte remote. If you face check into this and it is a Tattoo Bola, like you don't love to put Arisana to put a Trojan on it, but you don't have to put a Trojan on it yet. I'm going to call HQ. Netrunners play with their bodies? I think so, or a modern equivalent. We'll see. For those who don't know, Arisana won the World Championship back in San Francisco in 2024, playing an oversized Arisana deck. Really exciting finals. Arisana's really great. Plays interesting stuff. So I don't know why you wouldn't face check this. Like you're expecting it to be a Tattoo Bola. In theory, we have 7 credits, so we could Resin Empiricist. But us bottoming out to Resin Empiricist is like not the end of the world. Now Arzan's decks, or at least that World's Winning deck, had like a bunch of combo pieces, but they were only like 1 or 2 evs. Like the consoles were not 3x's. So how aggressively Arzan sets up might come down to like how well we draw. Arzan did mull. I lost him this weekend by 1 credit. I mean, that's the world champ difference. DZ Simulchip, sick. So we get our Charlotte. DZ doesn't fire, so the economy is not great here. This seems pretty good for us. And we also get our Méliès credit, so we're up on like 9 credits here. And we get a Lacosta. That's amazing. So the question is, where do we put the Cloud Eater? In theory, Shaper's putting pressure on R&D, but we can always just put our mark on R&D. We can Cloud Eater Central, put the Lacosta Hedge Fund. I think this seems pretty perfect. Now, I'd love to res the Cloud Eater for free. This is obviously a Charlotte. Arzan keeps claiming this deck is sick, but I'm a doubter. Unless he switched to Seals list, on which case I'm a believer. You know more about this deck, I take it. It's Arisana. I don't think we mentioned, so Arisana can install things at instant speed. Programs during runs, usually Trojans, doesn't have to be. Not icing R&D into illumination? I mean, maybe we should. It's a knick-knack, what's it called deck. So this is a knick-knack beta build deck. So icing stuff up is going to be kind of important because we don't want any free runs. Okay. Anemone on R&D is actually pretty good. We'll do obviously Lacoste into Charlotte, Charlotte into 4. Okay. Hanse sent a message, something we can do. The double brown remote server is kind of nice. The propeller though with the simul chip can break it. I think we just put this in server 1, we anemone on R&D. Arzon might pressure HQ, and I think I'm okay resing the Cloud Eater. Oh, we forgot to put the longevity in it. I think we're playing with off-world, excuse me. If we draw it, we'll do a swap. But I forgot to change the card. I think I'm going to put it on HQ. This is a beta build deck, I'm a doubter. Okay, so the combo with this deck is that you beta build to grab an Orca, or maybe also Lobi Someng, and then you sell it to KK. So you have to make a run. It doesn't have to be successful. I don't think I'm good at knowing where to call Méliès. I think I need to be thinking about it more. I think I'm vibesing, and I should be a bit more thoughtful, but I'm generally vibesing. Now the question is, like, the best thing that we could draw here is a Lotus Haze and just push it. Yeah, there's environmental. Okay, we're on 1 credit here, or no credits. So I don't know what we're doing here. Peach Shot on the Cloud Eater. Okay. We have it, so that's good. Now, I think we just push in the remote server. We can do install. We can even advance so it beats Pinhole into Lacosta. And then we can put an ice here. Or we can advance Charlotte, crack Charlotte to go +2, install Lotus Haze, install an ice. On 0 credits, we're probably in an okay space just to push. And getting the Lotus Haze means like you have to just play with Ganked on every server. As much as like in theory, if you do stick an Orca, like that's a pretty good breaker. So I think we do install. Yeah, that's fine. We in theory could pre-advance. Is the Charlotte advance better than just pushing an agenda with a single advance to score to push the next thing? No, I don't think so. I think we have enough money. See, the reason I'm a doubter is because Orca's actually not that good into a lot of the ice people are playing right now. You don't think? I think it's one of the best breakers in the game. Like, breaking into the bigger stuff for 4 is a deal. Breaking into the small stuff for 2 is a deal. Watch us on an enemy. Again, we can have a Mitra, and when we find our Mitras, none of this stuff actually matters, which is sick. But this is setting up maybe an illumination. We're just trying to get our environmental testing. So let's draw something that we can swap with. We could pre-trash this. Break Trapper for 2? Yeah, I mean, that's fine. Okay. R&D is probably where we're running, considering the botchless will do something. Now at any point we can move our upgrade. So we have an Anoetic Void that we can just slide to whatever server matters, which is like super, super relevant. I'm Echelon 6 pilled. Okay, so your solution is to install 5 programs. I mean, yeah. Okay, I hear you. Admittedly, my solution is to install a 10 credit breaker, but like, I think neither of our solutions are super realistic in the short term. Be there, I'm getting roasted for playing Carmen. I don't mind Carmen, but I just think Revolver is so good right now. Horizon's doing nothing. I'm scared. Throw out a Harmony. Throw out a second Orca. Get us a Mitra or a Ganked. That's sick. I want to keep cards in hand because we have to fire Anoetic. But this Mitra is so absurdly good into what we're doing here. Like, Mitra into Arasana is absurd. And I think we just click for a credit here. Like, we probably actually do just put this here. And I'm going to continue to call R&D because it's the only server that matters. Wait, people play the whale and don't sell it to Shopkeep? Oh, we do. I think we just don't have what we need here. Okay, so we can get this Cloud Eater rezzed, which I think we do. Arzon's on 2 credits. So if you want to be able to deal with the Cloud Eater, which mind you is going to be very expensive for us, you have a lot of work to do. You have to go get a Coalescence. So you can, basically you have to have it in hand. You have to have the, what's it called in hand? The Muse installs the Coalescence, the Muse installs, sorry, the Physarum. That gives you to 9. You bypass the Cloud Eater, it has text. We could also just let this run go through. Pichashon gets a click back. I don't think we want to go down to 8 credits here. We have to res a Brawn and Anoetic. No, I think we can afford it. We could slide a Mitra over just to go +3, but having the Mitras on these servers actually makes these servers a bit cheaper. But yeah, my guess is this has to be Muse into Physarum, as much as this is like the worst ice. If Arzon puts another Trojan on this, then we can slide Mitra over. All right, so this has text even if you bypass it. Some Arsanas are playing Chisel Charm, so it is Muse into Physarum, so you will bypass this for 3, and then you still have to take the text. We might actually have to Mitra this away later, which is super funny. So let's see what we do here. Either it's Trash and Installed Runner card, which that's pretty bad. So it looks like we're just taking 2 tags, which we can't really capitalize on. Chip Muse for Hush to deny Cloud Eater. I think that's pretty expensive. Single access here. This drops us down to 4 credits. I don't think we can afford to do this. Arzon might be deep diving here, but I don't think we can afford to do this. That's way too expensive. The remote server drops us down to 2. We have no money. We can let this send a message go. I don't think we fire this. Yeah, you're right. Mitra is money, actually. Yeah, let's do it. Spree, deep dive, environmental testing. I mean, I feel okay about that. Yeah, Mitra, you're right. We have Mitra on all servers that matter. The thing is, like, the server can be run. It's probably still an overextension. We were pretty sure there was a deep dive in hand, but it's not going to be relevant. Let's see if Arzon charges the remote server, which I think you kind of have to. Nuka, floating 3 tags. We can't capitalize on it. Wow, our remote server wasn't challenged. Okay. So we could score this and res a Bran, but then we pass down to 1 credit. That might be fine because the Mitra's on the table. It honestly might be fine. Yeah, Laura, how's it going? We're jungling. How's your weekend? It would be so funny to Mitra a Cloud Eater. It would be really, really funny. We could score this out, get a Brawn, and go down to 1. I honestly don't mind it. Because what else are we doing here? It's like credit Hansei to throw out the Charlotte. I think we actually just score this. Go to game point. Outermost or innermost? I think you do outermost, right? I don't see a reason to score with Hansei because we're going to push the Charlotte next turn. Okay, we called R&D here. So here we can do the Mitra swap and get a Tattoo Bullet. So we go back into the game financially. So Mitra, swap, Tattoo Bullet. We could have done an enemy to do damage, but I'd rather just have an ice here. And we know the top of R&D is safe. Oh, sorry. Forgot the window. So you might just bounce on here to keep us down to 1 or to 2. But now we actually get the swap, which is great because I guess we can put the enemy back. And we know the top of the R&D will be entirely safe here. So we're going to leave a Fly Swatter there so we don't risk another access. This might mean Arzon deep dives this turn. So maybe the enemy fire was better. We could have just res and fired the enemy because the 2 damage might be better. I don't think we trash this. We technically could get any card back. So maybe actually it would be right to get the bite back to make it a 1 and 5 on HQ to stop the deep dive. Yeah, I think this is a deep dive turn. Hey, Sandarin, how's it going? Yeah, I could see us getting the bite here. Oh, wait, hold on. We could have Mitra'd back. Like, if this isn't a ganked, you're cooked. Like, if this is a gank, that's really bad. So actually, maybe Anoetic on Archives. I'd rather do Anoetic on HQ. Yeah, we could have Mitra'd the Cloud Eater, which is so funny. And we would have done it so the Pitasha and the Physarum both get trashed. And then we could have pulled out an enemy from hand. The enemy would have done damage. Yeah, I might have done that too soon. Other thing is we can fire Anoetic. Firing Anoetic buys us a time. But it might have been right to send the Cloud Eater to off. I think we just put the Anoetic back here. You don't need swapping, just take 3 credits. I don't need 3 credits. I want to stop the deep dive. We might have wanted to swap the Cloud Eater, no joke. Yeah, I think we're going to do the swap. Because you can res this Mitra in the window, because we can do this. Like, this is so annoying. Like, imagine trying to run with Trojans. And then we do, okay, we have to do this onto HQ. Okay, goofed it again. Okay, never mind. So we'll tash for 3. We'll swap with the anemone. We'll res the anemone. I'm going to ask for an action here because in theory you have priority. Cloudary is kind of blank. Yeah, it's worse than blank. Well, it gets a click back, so kind of. Actually, seems good. Action? In theory, he has an action here on approach because we start approach. So res an enemy. I guess we get rid of the Cloud Eater probably. We miss the deep dive, but you still have to deal with an enemy. Otherwise, it's a 1 in 3, and we can still fire Anoetic as expensive as it is. So if we simuljet back the Botulus, okay. Like, we're spending so much just to be so mean here. I could see us Anoeting out the Tattoo Bull in the Hansei review. Yeah, the deep dive dodge the damage there. I think we might just do it. Like, how bad is it if we get deep dived? Our deck has Fuji's. I think we just let the deep dive happen, especially because it's only a single deep dive now that we don't have the Peach Shaw. Hit the Charlotte. That's bad. We didn't want that to get hit. Yeah, the single dive is fine. The dive that was going to be the double dive with the Peach Shaw was a lot worse. But if this is a Fuji, you're down to no cards in hand. I whiffs. Hit the bite. Take the bite. The gank doesn't do anything. You can trash it, but I can't believe that full whiff. That is not likely. Does our deck have the fake 1-pointers? That's such a bad deep dive. Axis Tattoo Bola. Oh my, that's awful. Yeah, take the bite here 10 out of 10. I mean, it's a way to get out of the game. Now, we just need to push in the remote server. Arzon's down to 3 credits. We could consider actually trashing the Nuka. It's probably correct. I think we just do Charlotte, click for credit, trash Nuka. We'll put this on R&D. We'll put this on HE. That's the server you can run. Draw server 1 advance? Yeah, that would have been fine. I actually just don't want Arzon to have cards in hand. So I'm going to trash the Nuka. It's a bit strange, but our board state is fine. If we just find, like, slow and steady wins the race here. He's the JNet achievement for whiffing deep dive. I'm like surprised we whiffed a deep dive because we had a lot of agendas still in the deck. I know we actually had 6. We don't have that many agendas. Huh. We're gonna deep dive whiff stable gets closer to getting unbanned. Yeah, like we just bought 2 clicks from Arzon's turn there. Allergic to Hansei, I mean, we need cards in hand, right? And we don't need the money this turn, but we need cards in hand because of Anoetic and Anemone, so I didn't want to use it right away. I'll play Hansei at some point for sure. I definitely want to find a Ganked here. Arzon knows we're on Ganked. Now, Ganked with these enemies is not that good, but I want to just get upgrades that are gross because that's what the deck does. We could put spin on the table. In theory, we could consider trashing this enemy. I think we do trash this. With the coalescence, it shouldn't be that hard. Just make it scary. We'll put this on R&D now. This is why a lot of the other lists linked the Reddit end up cutting Hansei. Too much stuff wants cards in hand. Yeah, and let alone we're not on Botu. But I just don't want to play the Hansei because we need cards in hand, right? We need enemies, we need Anoetic. The fact that we have 2 Anoetic moves, like in theory, it's really important we have 4 cards in hand at all times. I think this Hansei should have played 3 turns ago. It's like, how do we spend the money? We don't need the money. Like, we're not resing this Brawn. Admittedly, it's the teenies a bit expensive, but I don't actually think we need to play this. Like, going down 2 cards is really expensive on this board state. Do we spin Doctor first? We're not going to shuffle anything back in, so I don't think we do. Oh, I could see us actually shuffling the Mitras in to be totally annoying to Arsana. Did we shuffle the Mitras in? I mean, we want to leave a Mitra in the bin because we're Méliès, right? Let's not shuffle in. Maybe we should. Okay. So Fuji in the remote server probably wins the game. Double Brawn, you need 1 other breaker, you have to break Anoetic. So we have to basically beat Pinhole. So we beat Pinhole by Anoetic. We can just move Anoetic. So we actually beat Pinhole. I think we're in a really good spot here. Yeah, how do we lose? Burner knocking cards out of hand is a problem, but Anoetic is basically just burnering ourselves. So I think we just do install longevity serum, which would have been easier here. And keep cards in hand. Yeah, the Spin Doctor server, sometimes you want to pop it preemptively so they can't pinhole the server, but I know that doesn't matter. You can't pinhole Spin Doctor legitimately. So I think we just do off-world office. Advance Hansei. Advance plays around the pinhole. But they probably pinhole the heal, probably pinhole the Anoetic, let's be honest. I think we're safe here. I'm just like don't know what Arasana garbage can happen. R&D, I guess? I don't know. This looks like game point. And now you have to figure out how to beat Anoetic with a Lotus Haze, which is better than Proprio Negation if you ask me. Tablespin for more cards in hand too if you want. Oh, the second tablespin? It does open up some risk, but it's not like a Hermes deck. Like Artisan still has to find a lot of points. Pinhole can't hit Anoetic. Yeah, it eats 2 Lotus Haze counters. Because if we pinhole, we can just slide Anoetic to the pinhole server. Which is like a really cool thing about Lotus Haze. Lotus Haze is a messed up card. It's really good. This deck is only on 2 Anoetics. We're lucky we found one. He also doesn't know what this ice is. Also could think this is a Mitra or a Ganked, but it is just double Brawn, which like is actually relatively cheap. You're just going to need a Simulchip or another Propeller or a Muse, which is like totally doable. The question is, can you do it how many times with Anoetic Void? Because in theory, you have to run the server 3 times with our current board state. Man, Lotus Haze is so hard to deal with. Like, if you have any run event, you can't guarantee it with the Anoetic on the table. It's like, oh, do you want to just even clean getaway archives? No. We put on a lot of pressure with 2 counters. Light the Fire. Light the Fire is the only thing that can like really get us here. And there was I think a deck recently that played Light the Fire really well. But with Light the Fire, we can slide it to a different server. Like we just moved the Anoetic out. And then the server gets blown up immediately and we have a Spin Doctor. So it's not the end of the world. So we can't triple click through this. Because then the game is over. Arasana can't deal with Brawn really easily from hand unless it's Coalescence or hard. Sorry, Muse. Oh, so that's game. Yeah, easy. GG. Shred can be quite good against this deck. Yeah, someone was actually playing Shred well. I heard from the New Hampshire districts. We'll finally play that Hansei review. I'm kidding, we played the other one. And this in theory should have been Longevities, which would have actually been better for us, right? A good game. Yeah, the Mitras into the deep dive are so damn rude. The Knick-Knack didn't show up, eh? But like one of the best things about Mitra is playing into Trojans, and that is exactly what we did. Yeah, so no Knick-Knack there. It is a bigger deck, so that might just happen. But yeah, just not the pressure there. Trashes Knick-Knack O'Brien from hand, yeah, on the last turn. Oh, that's really funny. Oh, they're all in there. So this deck, the idea is that like you cheat out your Orca and then you Knick-Knack them. I don't know if it's also on Lobisomang, but it is like a good interaction point. Oh, this is not from hand. This is from the deck. Oh, showing 3 from enters, 3 Knick-Knacks. Rough. Another Explorer walks into the jungle and doesn't come back out. I mean, we didn't even... Well, the ganks matter for emotional damage, but they didn't matter. Thanks for the game, eh? I was convinced I was going to get Bernard into dived. Big deck can't expect consistency for that. Yeah. You know, that gets cut down for sure. Like the harmonies, the sprees. Oh, there is the burner. So the Arzon Classic is there. All right, so it is the thing that we think it is, but it also has the Orca package on top of it. 2 sprees too, which is like the Arzon card. And it does make sense with Botulus. Like Botulus is the one Trojan that Arzon is not great at moving around because you can't UAV it. Yeah, I fear that. Luckily, always Mitra. Like just the massive Mitra turn. All right, good game, Alex. All right, let's run it back. It was fun. I enjoyed myself. Didn't see ganked, but like, yeah, Mitra. I actually love playing Mitra. It's a really, really fun card. Shame that it's cursed. Hey, Ion. Gonna see some Lou. Yeah. So this is gonna be good stuff, Lou. Ion doesn't mess around. Gonna put us in prison like Ion tends to do on Friday mornings or whatever it is. Hey, best of luck. Have fun. See, he's having fun. Okay, how much ice do we have? We have 17 ice. So in a 49, that's what we're expecting. We're unhappy around Reg Vixen to you. So we return to classics. Reg Vix? Wait, what was Reg Vix? What was Reg Vix? Like Vic? Hermes can do slightly messed up stuff against this deck? Yeah, I could see it. Ah, yeah. I think I remember that. I forget what we were playing, but I remember just being out of the game relatively quickly. I think we conceded. We'll mulligan. Ugh. I don't like that. So we're gonna have to use our Méliès ability to good effect. Oh, that helps. Okay, so Lou wants to trash things. So like the Spin Doctor does have a price on its head. We can open with Spin Doctor to get some ice. And we definitely want to ice HQ because of the poke, and then we can get some cards in our hand. We probably want to keep one Lotus Haze so we have something to push. But obviously the start is bad. Jammable. Have fun. How's it going? You want to do install advance behind the Tattoo Bola? Is that what we want to do? Install advance? I don't want to do that. I'm just going to fix this. Find a Hansei. Okay, no Charlotte. Does feel like you're taking Glacier is Charlotte or lose? We want to discard 2 cards, so there's not much we can do with this hand. Yeah, this is nearly half the agendas in the deck. It's 3 out of 8. We could do draw ice. That brings us down to 7 cards. We discard Lotus Phase Fuji, which is fine. She's good. This actually might not be the right ice here because we want this for the remote server. So I think we might just put like a fake ice. This also makes it look like we have multiple pieces of ice, which is like big brain. Question is, where do you run? You probably run the Spin Doctor. Then here you might actually just check HQ on 5 credits. So I'm going to put this on HQ because that's where we could lose to. I'm not sure where you meant to put it here. I think this is going to take some play pattern recognition to figure out where you actually meant to put the Méliès U. Where do you think you put the Méliès U here? Again, I've played like very countable Méliès games. You think Archives? Yeah, I could see it, but I think you just run the Spin Doctor because it threatens Lou anyways. Everyone's saying something different, which is sick. Like genuinely sick. Using non-game actions to bluff game state? Oh, Archives was the play, huh? Yeah, I thought Lou would run the spins, so it's not Archives, but apparently Ion's running Archives, and I guess the leech is why, but like, I'm surprised. This also makes us lose a credit, which sucks. Yeah, I did not think that was going to happen. Stop it. Okay, we could do a Mitra in the remote server if it gets run. We technically cannot do a Cloud Eater, but the idea is there, right? I don't love this. The dishonorable Sentinels run? I mean, Leech is good, huh? Draw. You see the slow chat because the chatters may draw. Oh no. Odd? I mean, this is good. So we've seen, again, half the agendas in the deck are in her hand. We just need a Charlotte, a Hedge Fund, or Hansei. Okay, turns off her ability again. Ion calls us. Hard call here. Gets a flip. Trashes an Anoetic pushing forward. I mean, we didn't want to draw that, but I mean, that was a good... I mean, we didn't want to draw that, he says. But I guess here we are, huh? We can't really afford to purge. He kind of read our bluff that we can't res this on 5, so we're going to res it next turn. I can't play this hand. This hand is unplayable. Maybe the remote, the stink. I'm going to put on R&D, but he's going to run HQ for sure. Give us a credit. We need a Méliès credit. We've lost 2 credits so far. 7 technically is a breakpoint. 6 is a breakpoint I think more players play around because it's, what's it called? Lion's Mane, which we're not on. 6 is a breakpoint for a couple things. Again, lost our counter. Cannot call Ion if our life depended on it. 3 leech counters throwing out a twinning. So we have another one in hand, I'm assuming. Jeez. We have nothing to put in a remote server. What are we doing here? Like, this just does something? I just want a credit. What point do you roll a die? I mean, it seems like we're just rolling a die. All right, the Lacosta goes down really cheap. We'll res a tattoo. If it goes through, we can swap it for something. This is not the worst target into raindrops, which is good. Why not push behind one ice? Because it's not very good. It's like very likely Lou will be able to break through it. We in theory could have done the Lotus Haze push, I guess, but I think we want to do 2 ice to make it a bit harder. We can consider purging here. This is also probably on ice destruction. So like the leech counters go pretty hard. Like I'm assuming we're just going to drop a crew and go. But I think we want to slow roll slightly. Like we just, hey, we got a credit that turn. I mean, that feels really good. This feels awful. This feels so bad. And when our hand is bad, we can't even use Anoetic. It's like the worst of both worlds. I think we need to purge next turn. So I think we just have to push. But I'm worried about ice destruction being a problem for us. I think HQ is where it's at. Fairly Taka is an ice destruction. I think it could be. I don't think it's stealth. If anything, it's value. But yeah, maybe this is just like boomerang value. Gourmand. Okay, so our call whiffed. We're going to lose a card here. We could have called it R&D. We moved it off R&D. Ion Fox knows where we're at. We lost the Hansei. Throw me into the ocean. Gachapon. I think we have to purge here. So we'll res this. But then we go down to 5 credits. We can't even threaten the remote server. Oh, we have a Hansei. I don't think we can purge here. I think we have to Hansei. Now, if we don't score this, it means it's a 5-3, which like maybe you're not interested in. Here comes the Corsair. Oh yeah, I'm worried about the Lampades. I mean, that's fine. This might be a check we can't cash. I think he's going to run archives this turn. I'm doing the thing where I say the thing and then do the other thing so I feel smart no matter what happens. We'll see the Gachapon gets cracked like early on our turn. Looks like we do. Nothing immensely good. It's just like gourmands and fermenters. So we'll see some central pressure here, which probably is R&D actually. We really have to play our opponent's game. Like Lou is getting forward momentum. I would love to be able to score the Lotus Haze and Purge, but I think just Purge is probably it. Echelon's down. Okay. Meteor, it's okay. Command roll. Rolls a 1. I don't know what that means. We're going here. Okay. So this Empiricist is actually pretty okay. It drops us down to 4 credits. We could also swap it with Empiricist in our hand, but that just gives information for no reason. So I think we have to res this. No. So this will be at least expensive, right? Oh no, it's 3 credits. Why did I res this? I hate my life. Shut up. Shut up. Wait, was that a D1? Rolled a 1-sided die. Oh yeah, you're right. It was a D1. Sick. We put it on R&D that turn. We did lose the D1 roll. Fuji. Empiricist. Gonna gourmand that. In theory, Fuji into bite was lethal. Fuji into Fuji was lethal. We also hit the Eru, which is good. Oh yeah. Yep. Yeah. Risky. That was a risky line there. Okay, we'll see if he cracks a fermenter. Yeah, okay. So now purging's way worse. Okay, knocked cards out of our hand. If we score Lotus Haze, it doesn't really do anything. I'm not sure if this remote server can be contested, so I think we just spin Doctor and Hansei our hand. We need to keep enough cards in hand to be able to be okay to Anoetic, but I think here we just Hansei to send a message. And then what are we doing? Clicking for credit. So I guess we might as well draw and then Hansei to send a message. We have a Ganked in hand from the Empiricist. That seems really good. R&D. No, I think you run archives here. That's what we learned. Ion Fox runs archives with Spin Doctor on the table. Hansei scam. Well, Lotus. I'm going to get rid of it. You're right. Maybe we should have kept the Sam, just score it out. Because maybe Fox takes a turn off. Yeah, maybe that was fine. It's good. Server to R&D. I guess it's weak to pinhole. We'll put this on archives. Yeah, now we have Lotus potentially double ganked, which is like very, very quickly lethal. Let's do a Steelskin scarring check. This is a Taka turn, so it has to run. We have 2 Steelskins out. I would love to put double ganked on the table, but single gank Cloud Eater is good enough because this is for the end of the turn. Yeah. So like ganked into Cloud Eater is very, very good. Yeah, we're jungling. Okay, maybe this deck isn't that bad. Yours or mine? Yeah, we're jungling. God, ganked is the worst card. Why does this exist? This jungle deck kind of messed up. Yeah, at this point, like you can't run. Every card is ganked. Like I hate this. Why is this the world we live in? Every server now threatens to be double ganked. Like, what are you meant to do? How is this cool? This is not cool. Rising Tide's down. Okay, slightly cool. Taka, you have to run. Please run R&D. This remote server is actually not that great. Like, Tattoo can't do anything. Rising Tide is expensive, but with Taka, it's not that expensive. Why if I just install Devil Charm? You wait for people to stop playing Seb. You just wait till May and hope everyone gives up. But I don't think like the way that you deal with this is by instantly Devil Charming Ice. We run archives? Oh, that's interesting. So Pinhole is going to be on archives. So you're pressuring the Spin Doctor. We can get back a card from the bin. So I'm assuming it's going to be Hedge Fund or probably Mitra. The Pinhole could hit the Charlotte or the Lacosta or the Anoetic. This seems fine. I think the Anoetic is the hard one. But in theory, we can like Lotus Haze the Anoetic to archives. It just uses one of our counters. I think that's probably fine, is that we actually save the Anoetic Void, so the server is impossible to run. In theory, we can't break code gates, but this is a really interesting board state. You have to res the Anoetic here, right? Don't do anything. Okay, Rahid, I'll believe you. I wanted to move the Anoetic here. Yeah, we can also move the gank to Empiricist, but then like you just access the Locosta or something. I wonder if it's just the Locosta that comes down here. Okay, I'm not gonna hit anything. My knee-jerk reaction is moving Anoetic Void to archives. We also do get our ability fire, which is good. So doing the boost, you gotta do that. Double boosting so we don't have to run. Top of the deck is Tattoo Bullet. We'll trash it so we can go back. I want to get a Mitra. Yeah, I guess. Let's see what Pinhole hits. I'm assuming it's the Lacosta or the Anoetic. I don't think it's the new card. I forgot it could be the Spin Doctor. Like, technically, if that's the case, we'll have to, like, move the Anoetic to archives, but I think we just let it go. Oh, it's a Spin Doctor. Okay. So we can stop this run, but, like, it's expensive, and it doesn't do anything. So I guess we could have cracked the Spin Doctor. This is a send a message, which is not the end of the world, but then it's also pretty bad for us. Wouldn't taking the points of Méliès be good? It could have been good, because I realized it could be running back, and maybe the points were better than the Mitra. Yeah, in hindsight. Observer, how's it going? Maybe just taking the points was a safe play. I was assuming that he was going to go for the remote server, not for the send a message. Yeah, free bronze okay, but now we're on game point, and there's a twinning there. Threw out a buzzsaw. It might have been okay to grab the agenda back, because I think we're going to jam the agenda. Okay. So now R&D double ganked is like our game plan. So I think we just do. What's the idea, gang? I think we have to do Mitra in the server, ganked in the server, click for credit. Like we're just upgrade soup, lose to what's it called, to light the fire, I guess. But like R&D see many is the issue. Like you can see 3 cards, and as long as you don't access the upgrades, Cloud Eater doesn't matter. If you do lose, you lose the triple ganked. There are only 5 more agendas in 25, so 1 in 5, kind of what you'd expect. I could see us drawing once. Should have been archive. I think it should have been archives. A laugh of a villain arc. I mean, when your hand is ganked and bite and Mitra, it's like, what is the worst thing I could be doing right now? But yeah, twinning is an issue. Tungsten, okay, so some breakpoints. Pinhole on HQ. So I don't think it matters. It's like moving the ganked, resing the ganked means you hit a brawn. I don't think we care. Wait, Light the Fire, can you move an upgrade out of the chosen? Yeah, you can. It's just expensive because you use 2 haze counters. This is what, 5 to break? I guess it's cheaper with Leech. In fact, oh, you can't make money off of Leech, but yeah, this is fine. We missed the R&D call. Yeah, HQ made more sense. These Leech counters are really quite good. I wonder if it's this ganked. It doesn't matter. We, in theory, could res this gank and slide on HQ. That might have been correct. Because losing this ganked on the Cloud Eater actually really does matter. Cloud Eater can be 3 strength, which is still awkward. It was Lacosta, yeah, makes sense. You have another gank to move? Yeah, but there's no shot at pinholes this ganked. And like moving the ganked on HQ is just a safety. It's not actually that it has text. Okay, I mean, install advance, right? The problem is like this remote server is not that good. I just think we're going to lose on Central sooner. Okay, so we can see 2. HQ we don't care about. R&D is the one we care about. I'll leave it here. Gonna get a lot better once Tattoo becomes Brawn. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Let alone it can become anything from Archives because of Mitra. Oh, that's bad. Okay, I turned off her ability. Got a leech counter. We've been calling it so wrong against, I need to learn a lot from this. I should spend more time in Ion Fox's head to be like, what do you think Fox is going to do here? This is fine. Either we win or we lose. Either you see 3 cards and win, or you lose to Triple Cloud Eater. That is the game we're playing today. There are 4 agendas in 23. You can break this literally once. Yeah, that's it. It's like this run wins or it's over because you ran into ganked double ganked Cloud Eater. That's it. We could also stop this run if we really wanted to with Anoetic Void. Or we can just try and win the game. What do you think we do? I think we could roll the die. It's 11:20, so we can get another game in, but I would see us rolling the die here. So Anoetic is pretty expensive. Oh, we're down to 2 credits. No, I think we have to win on this. Should have moved Mitra for the cash. Yeah, I don't realize how cheap we are on cash, but at least Tattoo Bola Mitra is good. Jack's out. Sick. So took the damage hit, Buzzsaw, Gatchap on Steel Skin. What a game. Yeah, I think getting the 3 credits would be good because we're kind of stuck here. Zero credits. Fuji would be lethal if we had 1 more credit. If we grabbed the Mitra, we could have had lethal here. Right? Because we could have done triple advance. Yeah, imagine your deck has like a revolver or heaven forbid, like a Fazarum. Not Fazarum, a Shibboleth. Yeah. Obviously, like Ion's playing around this, but if we had 1 more credit here, if we moved the Mitra, this could have been triple advance Fuji. Saw Lacosta click like, I don't think we want to install the Lacosta. It's 3 credits for an advancement. I think we're just better clicking for 3. Like this is better in a longer game, but I think we just want to have enough money now to threaten bite and everything else. I think it has to be Archives here, right? But now every Central run is like double ganked. Like it's nonsense. Purge, I want to be able to score the Fuji. We'll see if Fox doesn't do anything now, Purge would be right. He's going to be on 4 credits next turn. If we Purge, we take 2 cards from hand. Okay, honestly, it might have been credit Lacosta so that we can res Lacosta Purge. I think actually it was, we should have split the difference there. Because purging with Lacosta is so much better than not. If we score this, we knock 2 out of the hand. It doesn't really matter. Money matters. Next turn, Fox will be on 4. Fermento will be down. I think we do draw Hedge Fund Lacosta.
I'll purge next turn. I just all the coast of credit, I think. Yeah, I drew instead. Just to keep the hand full. I guess 4 cards was as good as 5 cards largely because we can only fire Mitra twice. Maybe if Méliès fires. Okay, so now the fermenter's gone. Table bite would be funny. It would be really funny, but how's it going? So far though, Ion has rain, archives when the spin is on the table. But table bite is probably reasonable. I think we're doing the math of how many times we can break Cloud Eater. Because the answer is you have to do it a lot. Like the leech counters are really important. Maybe we should just put this on archives. Fuji score jam bite. I think with Hermes, you're not running this remote server, you're running central. So jamming bite's not very useful. If anything, we want to jam Charlotte to like break lock. Next turn you have to run Kazataka. But I don't think in a remote server with 6 upgrades, you actually charge it. I think you just run centrals with Hermes. I think we just put the brand on RD next turn if we don't draw an agenda. Yeah, that's good too. The server we lose to is R&D for sure. We already lost an Iru, so that's good. You do want to play around it. I don't think the deck's on Praxis, but Iru is worth playing around. We don't have to. Okay. We're going to hit a Rising Tide and it's going to get better. We hit a, oh nice, we hit a pinhole. Oh, we didn't res any of these upgrades. I think that's fine. You have to bounce an upgrade here. Oh, bouncing an upgrade sucks. Maybe we should have just pre-resed everything and shown our hand. Okay, we put the brown on 5. Then we go up to 8 with Mitra. We go down to 2. We can't fire bite. I did forget about the Hermes. It might have been right to pre-res something. We've got 2 free credits. We still have Lotus Haze. All the agendas. There's 4 and 19. We can see 3 off the top. Charlotte and remote is like obviously like what's going to push us forward. Do we need double ganked on the Cloud Eater? We're going to have 16 credits next turn. Echelon will break this. We've lost 2 buzzsaws. Echelon breaks this for 6 each time. It's expensive. I think we're relying on Anoetic more than we're relying on Ganked here. I think I'm just going to put Shard in the road. I don't think you run biting the remote here. This server is as expensive. We'll go R&D. It honestly might be archives because I think you want to get leech counters this turn. Yeah, I think archives is actually correct because I think running each leech counter is worth about 3 credits. Yeah. God, I got to think about it better. But yeah, each leech run on archives is actually really good. Getting back here, I'm not sure what we would have got back. Like probably just a hedge. But just having a 6 card in hand matters on this turn. We are throwing game points, so I think you go for it here. I wonder if it actually was ganked in remote, just to be able to slide the ganked over. This hits a breakpoint. Yeah, this hits a breakpoint. Yeah, that was worth the 3 credit run. We should put that in archives for sure. It's only 1 card. It's not a huge difference. There's no maximally. It's 3x. It is genuinely maximally. Look how many cards with counters Lou has. Taka, Twinning, Paladin, Cast. It's just buck wild. Does Cloud even tax as much as Braun? No. Yeah, it taxes about the same at 6. But the thing is, like, it's better with Ganked. Hedge Fund will tax for 7. Never mind. Shut up. Okay, so... Oh, actually, hold on. Do we move Mitra here? I don't think we need 3 credits this turn, so probably not. There's no more bites in the deck. We probably lose to this run, so we either have to Anoetic or we have to Ganked. But it's very likely we don't survive the Axis. I'm assuming you could take tags here if you think you win. Fox, why are you waiting? So we have no more pinholes. We've seen 2. I don't think we're on 3. We could slide this over. and just end the run. We're going to be up to 12 credits. We could do it again. I just don't see how we survive the twinning. Like, maybe we just have to take the twinning here. You do get the leech counter, so Echelon will be at functionally 4 strength, which means I think it's bad. I think no matter what, we're going to lose. The chance of seeing 3 and not losing is pretty low. There's 4 agendas in 19, we see 3. I forget what the shortcut math is, but it feels like a 60% chance we lose. We could do single ganked at worst. We have to pre-res the Charlotte. Want to Anoetic? That's the other thing, is we can Anoetic, but if we Anoetic here, like, it's expensive, and then you can just run it back, I think. Like, it's probably the best thing we have to do, but we're still going to lose on R&D sooner than later. We can technically Anoetic twice, yeah, but then, like, how do we win? It's good, though, that it's actually naturally using leech counters. Our opponent needs to leave in 7 minutes. Wait, did that come up? Oh, yeah, you're right. Sorry. Yeah, they said it. So we shouldn't be like that, yeah. Yeah, okay, we'll Anoetic. Sorry, I didn't realize the message was we have to play faster. We can't do the second bite. I'm getting rid of the hedge fund. It's probably double bite. The question is if you go back. Don't you dare discard Ganked? No, of course I won't. You know I won't. These leech counters are good. All right, so we'll see if we would have lost off the top. We probably wouldn't have. Oh no. Oh, that's not good. Are we grinder? Do we actually just take cards out of hand? I don't think it actually matters here. Having 4 cards in hand is more important. We can fire Anoetic once. I don't want to draw last click because it's way too late to do that, so I won't. But in theory, having 4 cards in hand is way better here. Fly Swatter on Archives. I mean, that's fair. I'd actually rather have Fly Swatter from the Cloud Eater because that's where you're going to use it. Okay, so we're taking tags. Do we need Mitra here? Well, it drops us down to 2 credits. We can't fire a bite here. Yeah, you're right. I probably should have put Gank straight on R&D. There's no reason to put in the remote server. We're burning Lotus Haze counters. I think that's right. 5 strength Brown. Break for 6. So we're just wasting money. And the boomerang doesn't go back, so we are truly grinder. But we're also breaking it? Oh yeah, no worries. Yeah, we're just boomeranging it. So I'm assuming we're taking tags, which, like, you cannot survive that because of the twinning. Dude, Fly Swatter is good. We don't have a decoder. I think we threw out 2 buzzsaws. Yeah, we threw out 2 buzzsaws. Actually, like, the Fly Swatter might have been better than Brawn. We probably have 1 more boomerang. Wow, it's on 3 pinholes. Actually, that's incredible. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8, 9, 10. Might be another Hermes, 11, 12, 13. Then 2 echelons is 15. Yeah, I don't think there's another boomerang. We can't fire Void anymore. Yeah, there was no reason for it in the remote. You're totally right. We definitely should put that straight into R&D. That was a mistake. Hey, Anonymous. How's it going? Wait, what's going on? Oh, we're letting a Brawn subroutine fire? No. Okay, we're not. Because, like, Brawn installs a Fly Swatter, we can actually Mitra it. It's kind of sick. Wait. We should just Mitra here. Sorry. I need to Mitra. Can you run back? Yeah, we install Fly Swatter for the Mitra. Because we just Mitra for this Fly Swatter and we get a hard end to run. So we do this at the right window. I'm just doing it here. Heard the pain in his voice with that for sure. So I'm assuming this will ask us now. We'll flip this with the flies water. We'll res flies water. This will hard end the run as much as the -1 strength. We've now have a code gate here. This should end the run. Are we doing it? I mean, we could draw 2 agendas here. The remote server's not safe. Yeah, he did actually throw out my second saw. Like, it's not actually guaranteed we could win here. We could lose off centrals. Like, how do we win? The double ganks of the server is not good enough. How do we win? Like, we just have to put this in there. Trash twinning. I'm not worried about twinning. You can't run this. It's just like, you can still bust the remote server. I think that's the issue. Install advanced credit. Then we do this, right? The question is whether you can run this server twice. Maybe not. We have anyone in the remote. I know, but we only have 2 cards. So the question is, can Fox run this twice? And with a Tattoo Bowler, we can swap for double Brawn, and maybe we get there. I might have overstepped. Maybe there's one more Boomerang. A Gourmand. Oh, we did overstep. Unless that we mark this on HQ. Wait, this is such a good run. So we have to like put the Ganked on HQ? Wait, what do we have to do here? We did overstep by 1 card. I don't think the Ganked here work. What's in the bin? I don't think it matters. Because we called Archives. So we could put a Ganked on here. The thing is, like, you have to break the Empiricist or you lose the game. Yeah, Anoetic is dead, so there's no point moving it. So I think we just put a Ganked here on HQ. I do think we lose. But it's close. Yeah, I didn't see this line at all. We could have told the last cards in hand that there was going to be one there. Yeah, we need to force the credit bleed. So we have to force the Empiricist so Ion Fox doesn't have enough money to run this server. But I'm pretty sure Ion will. Is taxes out enough? I don't think so. You just have to break one of the subroutines. Oh, you don't even. You have 4 cards in hand. You don't have to break this. Oh, because of the Lou draw. Yeah. Oh, you have to break the draw card. Oh, actually, no, it's close. I forgot the draw card is relevant. The thing is, like, you don't have to break the draw card anywhere because we can't move the Anoetic Void. So the question is whether this is an Anoetic Void. Fire? So the hand is knocked out. It is a Fuji though, so you do have to break parts of it. No, Fuji text doesn't matter. Oh, wow, you want me to undo? Yeah. Just take the cards back? Yeah, we're 1 Lotus Haze counter short. Okay. Yeah, you're right. You don't have to break this. We got so close. I think we might have overextended there when we drew the agenda. Maybe we should have just trashed the twinning and held 3 in hand and said you're not going to find it. But I do think also, yeah, maybe we just have to put this on HQ because that's the one way we lose is like Gourmand to the remote server. Really good play. I think we threw by jamming the agenda. I agree. I think we should have held it, trashed the twinning, and then just like recovered. Second Void in Archives, yeah, we lost it on like turn 2. Good game. Well fought. GG. Did not play around the Gourmand. That was really good. That was great. Yeah, I think we could have played around it for sure. I needed to slow down. I think I was pressured over the like 7 minutes to class thing that we started playing way faster than we should have. Hey, cheers. Enjoy class. But yeah, we could have told every card in hand. I think the last card in hand is probably no, that was the 2 Hermes. So we called the influence totally perfectly. That's sick. Frontiers, have you played Egg at all since VP? No, I haven't. And like the data says that Egg is the best thing you should be playing on the Corp side right now. The thing is, like, I think everyone's bored of Egg, and Egg didn't get very interesting cards. They got good cards, but not cards that are like really sexy. Thomas, thanks for the games tonight. Of course. Thanks for dropping by. Yeah, so what we could have done that turn is we could have kept the agenda in hand and had the 1 in 4 shot. If we added if we put our Méliès marks were so bad. I think we lost so much by Méliès incorrectly, and Méliès incorrectly cost us cards in hand, which actually really, really mattered. Oh, that was me. Hey, good game. It was really fun to play. Watch the replay if you can. I think it was a very interesting matchup. Yeah, I think it was like very interesting because we lost cards in hand by doing bad calls. Some of them were like we were just not able to call Ion. There was 1 or 2 turns where we made the bad call and then realized we made the bad call and actually could have seen the right call. And just having 1 more card in hand here is very important because the Noetic Haze actually really does matter. People go back to Egg for Megas and then y'all miss Ob being the best deck. I mean, I actually like playing against Egg a fair bit more than playing against Ob. Because I think Egg is, I don't know, I feel like I can be more in control of that game. Ob sometimes can just high roll really, really bad. Thanks for the bet. Of course. Hey, my pleasure. I think like that's a really big thing. Playing on stream is fantastic because you have the ability to see the other side of the table, but not only see the other side of the table, and I don't mean obviously live is after the chance, but then you get that like firsthand response where you can hear the person talk about like what you're doing, what they're playing around, what you're scared of, what the things they think you should have done, what you should have blown them out. Like that sort of feedback is so valuable. And it's so hard to get unless you are like playing with people on a testing team or something like that. I know you can't do the thing where you leave a server open and call it every turn. You have to ice every central when playing this deck. I think like we wanted to ice up archives against the leech counter because leech counter was so good that I wanted to. I felt like we didn't have time to do it, but maybe even just putting like an enemy on archives is good enough. Once everything is iced, like then maybe it's both easier and harder to call Méliès, but we whiffed Méliès more often than not. And if we hit it a couple more times, I think we had that. Oh, wow. 2 agendas in the row there off the top. So things are going to get worse. You also want a gankable ice on every central? Yes. And we kind of did. We had Empiricist and we had, what's it called? Cloud Eater as much as we bounced it. What deck are we playing? Adonis, we're playing, this is called Jungle. It's up on Netrunner DB. It's if you just go to popular decks, you'll find it. But it's a triple enemy, triple Mitra list. So far, so cool. It's 11:37. I don't think I have time to do another one, unfortunately, but I'm pretty sure we'll be seeing more of this deck in the near future. So that's pretty cool. Congrats to the tiebreakers for playing this list. It's cursed. I hate it. Shout out to everyone. I hate everyone. But that's gonna be it for tonight. Yeah, we definitely don't have time to start another one. That was a good game to end on for sure. That's mostly it this weekend. Hopefully, if you're in Montreal, we'll see you at the District Championship. Again, Silver Goblin, registration's at 9:30. It's not gonna be too long of a day. Probably be about 6 rounds of single-side Swiss and then a top 4 single elimination. So we'll be out before dinner. A lot of people will be out like 3 o'clock, which is great. Is there a card overlay for Netrunner? For table stream? Yes, people have made their own overlays. There's a whole bunch of different ones, including one I work with. When it comes to Jateki.net, the thing I can recommend is using what's it called? The Cyber Feeder, which is a plugin for Firefox that allows your JNet to look a lot better when it comes to revealing information, storing information, and making things just easier to read, which is great. Oh, Vancouver Districts this weekend too. Yay, good luck out there. Thanks for stream, of course. There's so much content I can link to. Mind you, link in the description to all the stuff we mentioned. Also, of course, we'll have our side of the Corp tier list up on Monday, which is, again, about 4 hours of content. So dive into that. That'll be fun. For Twitch viewers, no, Guy, unfortunately not. I've never seen one really. In terms of viewership, generally in Netrunner, most of the viewership is moved to YouTube than Twitch. So there's not a lot out there. Twitch is difficult too because you have to get your thing approved by like the Twitch people. I used to have a decklist viewer that Wasa made, but that has been like in review from Twitch for a long time going. But I wish there was. But the Twitch viewership on Netrunner is like pretty small comparatively to YouTube. Thanks so much for hanging out. Thanks to all these names here and more that support the Metropole Grid so we can do all these sort of stuff, all the video stuff, all the streaming. Mind you, again, if you're playing out this weekend, best of luck. We'll hopefully see you at Districts. All these names, mind you, we also have our daily cast patrons. Unfortunately, their names are not here, but the support allows the Metropole Grid to do the stuff it does that we can do, which is like an absolute treat. I'm super, super grateful. If you want to support this channel, you can find a link in the description for the Patreon. Any amount of support is incredibly appreciated. Also, if you just want to take a second to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, all that sort of stuff just helps algorithmically as you imagine it can. And it does actually really help out the channel. We've been doing a whole bunch of Netrunner stuff. We've been busy all weekend. Again, mind you, we have video coming up. We had a video last week. We're also doing some other stuff. If you want to watch Marvel Champions or Arkham Horror, that stuff is around and well on some other channels, which might be linked in the description. Best of luck for the weekends. Megacities are just around the corner, but we have one more weekend of Districts. Hopefully you're having a great time there. And thanks for keep playing Netrunner. Of course not. It's my pleasure. We'll catch you in the next one. Take care, y'all. Good luck this weekend.